circle from all that's stressed. We trust the guardians, trust the guides, trust the open and what's inside. When the moon is high, it's time to fly. Open your mind, let it all unwind. Let's get disengaged, time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged. When you feel like you've had enough and the week was busy and tough, you need a break, you need some fun, you need to take time from the run. We'll blow your mind, we're just in time. Seek and ye shall find. Time to unwind, let's get disenraged. Time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged. Aliens, ghosts, spirits and shadows, spirituality, ultra reality, the Bible, the pagans, all the conspiracies, tarot, astrology, and alternate history. Open your heart to other possibilities and get disenraged. Time to engage. Turn another page, free from your cage. Get disenraged, 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 disenraged.
Jennifer, you're adjusting your camera. Hi, we're live on the internet, Jennifer. What the fuck?
I just, as soon as the song was ending, I heard my dog's feet gallivanting into the house. I'm like, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get attacked.
Mhm.
And I was.
And here we go. Dogs in the scene. Dogs are here.
They're right back out to play. I was gone all day running errands, so they're a little pent up. They're gonna be a little wild tonight, I think.
That's all right. We can teach dogs how to manifest their best reality as well,
Well,
which
they got
usually involves
me.
a bone.
Treats,
Yeah,
all kinds of things. Yep, lots of
my-
hugs.
My dog is mastering the whining for a bone thing, and it's like he's gotten better at it since Honey died. So for
Oh.
people who don't know, I used to have 2 dogs, and now sadly I have 1 dog because my dog died, and it was sad and tragic, and I cried on the internet and all that. But since then, my other dog has been taking on the traits of the first dog, and it's actually just a bizarre thing. But anyway, one of the things he has mastered is coming into the kitchen and doing the look that Honey used to do, which is to crook her head and then look like a toy like this. And he never used to do that before. It was only a Honey thing, and now he's doing the Honey. And I'm like, God damn, my other dog is still here. She's probably still with him right now, right beside him.
Oh, for sure. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I was. I thought one of my dogs ran off with something. I just found it. I was listening.
That's okay.
As I was looking, I can do both things at the same time.
I understand. Does he get twice as many bones? Well, he kind of does now. Actually, he kind of does because like the bones we give him, they're like fish skin, so they're like 0 calories. It's just something for that he really just likes to chew on. So we don't mind giving him like multiple bones, but at the same time, I feel as though my dog is getting a little entitled. Because it's like now anytime anyone goes in the kitchen for any reason, you see him is like, hello, where's my bone? Like anytime, like it could be I went in the kitchen 5 minutes ago and then I came back downstairs to go in the kitchen again. Oh, I need another bone now. I just gave you, and then you get into the whole thing where I try to reason with the dog and I'm like, I just gave you a bone 5 minutes ago. You don't need another bone. And then he goes,
oh, but I do. Hello again. We meet again in my favorite room. Where are my treats?
Yes, exactly. It's
We
just
do
like, you know,
tend to spoil the survivor, because when my first dog died, and we had when Phelan passed away, we had Kina. It was like I'm like, I'm giving her all the treats. I don't even
yeah,
care. I don't care. Because like a week after Phelan died, we knew Kina had cancer, and I'm like, I don't know how much time we have left, so she's just getting whatever she points her little nose at.
yeah,
I don't even
have it
care.
all. Can
Yeah,
have it all.
eat all the things. Everything you were never supposed to eat in the past is now on the table.
Yeah, pick it out. Like,
Yep.
would you like a takeout menu? Just put your
Yeah,
paw on one.
exactly.
But the struggle is real. But anyway, welcome to DISENRAGE. We might have some new people for DISENRAGE tonight because I got 5,000 subscribers out of nowhere for like the first time in
Oh,
like 4 effing years. So that
I
was kind
wish
of
I
like
had
my
an air horn. I'll do the sound for you. Go whoop whoop.
yeah. I mean, I just hope the shadow ban kind of does like that people actually come to the streams and they learn stuff. And I feel like I'm cautiously optimistic about it, but I've been trying to this is actually a great topic for tonight's topic because I have been proactively trying to manifest this like really diligently, and I feel like I actually did manifest this. I feel like this actually came from me doing the focusing my energy and attention and meditation and putting myself in the right mindset and all that stuff, and I took action in the real world. But let's be honest, I've been taking action for years in the real world, and it resulted in me getting massively shadow banned on YouTube, where basically some new people were finding my content, but not any significant number. And I
Yeah,
was able to manage because of like, you know, people love my stuff that come to the community and they support it, and that's all really great. But I've always wanted my content to expand to more people, the right people, not the
yeah,
retards of the internet. That's critically important to me, that we do not fill the audience with stupid people. But
yeah.
like, I've been really diligent about this, and I feel like it's like one of those things where the universe aligned and poof.
Well, I was going to say a lot of a lot. First of all, what's happening in the world at large, people are waking up in by the thousands, going, "Oh my God, this is communism," and mainstream is finally kicking in. It took them long enough, but they're now searching for it. So it's not like you're aligning, they're aligning. Everybody, all parties need to come to into the same alignment. They need to be in the same frame. And not only that, but we can say we want something all freaking day long, but we may not really be ready for it.
Mhm.
We may be missing a level of maturity or a level of emotional healing or something that would prepare us to do the thing. The work, because once the thing starts, you better be ready. It's like luck favors the prepared. And so I think you're completely ready for all of this. You've got your experience behind you now. You're good to go. And now everybody's coming in. They're like, "Aha, we're all in the same boat now." And I think it's working out well.
Yeah. Well, you know, I just wanted to stay like, I don't want it to be disrupted. Like, that's the biggest thing I'm worried about. Cause like, yeah, there are a lot of new people on the channel. Yeah, new people are going to have questions, and it might be a little frustrating sometimes for the older people that have been here. They're the veterans rather, because they've been through all this stuff before. And they're like the people that have been watching my content for years. It's like they're the people that are like the old haggard mobsters, where they're like the new mobsters show up and they're all excited and their suits all tailored and they got their gun and all this stuff, but the old mobsters are sitting there looking at them and they're like, you kids don't know shit about shit. You don't know
We've
anything.
seen
Yeah,
things.
we've seen things that we cannot see. You don't know what the fuck's going on. Like, just sit over there and try not to break anything. I feel like that's exactly what's happening on my channel, where like we've got this disgruntled group of veterans where
Oh
they've
no.
seen everything you can possibly see and they know how. And then we've got these new people coming in and we're watching like a progressive meeting or something, and the new people are like, this is crazy, and the veterans are like,
Wait till you get to this, that, the other. Yeah. Well, imagine what it's like being a teacher at any kind of school, where you finish your whole year of teaching students, and then the next year you got to start all over,
yeah.
and a year after year after year. And so you guys think of it that way. I know a lot of us, we've been there for years. We've been in the trenches right next to Karlyn, some more than others. Some left and came back. There's been a lot of cycling, I think. And now here we are. So be nice. You be nice to those new people. They don't know. They don't know what we've seen. They will. They will. And soon they'll
Exactly.
be over in the corner going, "Oh my God, wait till
Yeah.
you get to this part."
We have to slowly bring them into the community. We can't just give them all the crazy shit right off the top,
Yeah.
because it's going to scare them away. Like we are not going to show them the autistic sex ed video.
I still haven't seen that. I keep forgetting. Yeah, I still. Oh,
Yeah. Nick says we are very disgruntled, but we will survive. Exactly.
you
Exactly.
can be
We're
mentors. Help them learn.
that, and that's what's needed, and that's like the whole point of this, right? Is like I wanted to create a place where I was teaching people stuff, and then other people learn from me, and then they go out. It's like a multi-level marketing campaign, except no one has to pay me money for anything unless they want to. It's like a
Yeah.
multi-level information campaign where I'm like, I am downloading all of my I'm like fucking I'm the Yoda of socialism, and I'm downloading all my knowledge to the Padwins, and then they grow up and they teach, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Multi-leveling marketing without the pink cars and the vacations in Tahiti.
Yeah. We don't get vacations in Tahiti. I haven't been on a vacation in years. Although I was thinking I'm still like I would still like to do like a giant F off cruise next year for my 15-year wedding anniversary. And I've been looking around. I've been trying to diligently figure it out. I'm like, you actually have to start planning this, Karlyn, because just you should if you want to get a really good cruise deal. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, I've been thinking about it though, but I'm like, I need a vacation. If I make it through this year, and my content grows in the way I would like it to grow, and it is going in the direction I want it to go in. I am taking a vacation next year, Jennifer. It's gonna happen.
I mean, like actually
I'm
unplugging
like,
from YouTube
well,
for a little bit.
I mean, I would probably still be on the internet and stuff, but it would be on a cruise ship, and who knows exactly how that can go. But yeah, I mean, hopefully, maybe even unplugging from the internet, maybe even just turning off YouTube, maybe just doing that, maybe.
Or just throwing us some reels. Hi, I'm by the pool.
Yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
I'm at the bar. Hi, I'm at blackjack. Like
Here I am snorkeling in the Caribbean. Miss you guys. Hope is going great. I'm snorkeling and drinking a drink with an umbrella in it.
Yep. I've had 4 of these coconut things and they're really good.
Yeah, and it's 10 a.m. and but guys, just so you know, if you are new here, we don't talk about politics on DISENRAGE, and you're about to find out exactly how weird I am. Because and Jennifer's weird too. Jennifer's a witch, so she's weird. We have weird spiritual beliefs, and on Tuesday nights we talk about them. Except they're not really weird to us. We kind of think you guys are the weird ones. But
How can you not believe this? Yeah.
So this is a show about spirituality and meditation and manifesting and crystals and astrology and tarot cards and ghosts and aliens and conspiracy theories and Bigfoot and whatever we want to talk about, but we are not talking about politics. We are talking about spirituality. And I don't want any grief from any Christians in the chat. You are allowed to be a Christian. You are not allowed to damn us to hell on this show.
No.
It's rude and it's inappropriate and we don't want it. And we respect your ability to be Christians, but we are not Christians.
No, and you may find that we agree on more things than we disagree on.
True.
So, I mean, honestly, our beliefs align very similarly in many ways. That's just just watch, have some fun. It's just another point of view. If it bothers you to your core, with love.
With love, you don't have to watch our show. You can go somewhere else. It's fine. So, anyway, we are talking about manifesting tonight or creating your reality, and this is a Jennifer night.
It is.
And so what are we talking about tonight, Jennifer? What are we learning?
Well, this is all about how our minds create reality. And do you know, if I had more time today, I would have done DISENRAGE bingo card for us tonight, because I'm sure all the things are going to come up in this. But I'm already preparing for the time is not real attack, because it's going to happen. I know it will.
Yeah, probably.
But so whatever we think, whatever you think, if you've ever manifested before, some people have a formula. You have to rigidly sit there and meditate for X amount of time every single day, or and eat vegan except for Fridays. Then you have steak or whatever. I mean, it's
so
just
dumb.
No, the power of the mind is ongoing. It is literally the Energizer battery, bunny, and it goes and goes and goes. It keeps on going. Whatever is happening in your reality, you are bringing that into your life. You're welcoming it in. And we think, well, I didn't welcome this experience because this experience sucked. Something in you needed it. Now, I don't think this also goes along with like the agreements we make between lives and all of that kind of stuff. But this right tonight, we're focusing specifically on our mindset. If you want to change something, you can, and you have to do it persistently. What persists continues. What how did wait a minute.
What resists persists.
Well, that's one of the way, but what you persist in is what manifests. I know it's like what
Mhm.
resists persists is when you sit there, and that's what Joshua used to say, and I loved that because it was easy to remember. But it's how, like, if you sit there and go, I don't want this and I don't want that and I don't want this and I don't want that, the universe doesn't hear don't.
Yeah.
It only hears I want, because the universe is wanting to give to you. It doesn't want to take things from you. It wants to give to you. So if you say, well, I'd like a job, but I don't want to work in office, all you're going to get is office jobs, because all it hears is office. So talk about what you want. And it's really hard too to do that.
It's so hard. It's even just as simple as, like, you know, someone saying, well, I want more money. I want more money. I want more money. Well, guess what? You're putting yourself in a state of wanting.
Yes.
You're not putting yourself in a state of receiving.
Or
And it's like
abundance.
these little kind of tricks that you have to understand, that, like,
Yeah.
because you're right, your mind will give you whatever it is that you're focusing your attention on. And sometimes this is really effing hard, man. Sometimes it's really hard, because it's like, if you extrapolate out what manifesting means, it's like we are constantly manifesting our reality. There is never a time when we are not manifesting. Even if you're like, I don't do that woo woo shit, guess what? Congratulations, you're still manifesting, whether you like it or not. It is a perpetual state of, you will receive what you focus your energy and attention on, and you will become how you see yourself in your head.
Yeah, if you're, like you said, if I want, you will never have enough, because you will constantly be wanting. Same thing with, like, oh, I wish I could lose weight, but it's really hard to do. Okay, well, you've just created that reality, and now you have a narrative and you're clinging to it. You have to unwind those narratives. The second video we're going to watch tonight will explain how to do this. The first video talks more about the mechanics of it. Why? It's some of the science studies that have been made, blind studies that prove your state of mind can change you physically, your health, your weight, all that kind of stuff, your relationship status, all of that. And there was one more thing. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, the other thing is, what I like to say about manifesting is, I consider it co-creation. You're co-creating with God, with the divine, with the universe, with each other too. I mean, and it's hard, it's tricky because my husband and I are both pretty hefty manifestors. We're really good at it. And when we align, we can get anything. And so when we started talking about, something we want to bring into our lives, I'm like, listen, buddy, you need to, well, I don't want this. I don't want that. I have to go, stop doing that. We got to do this together. We have to align. When you have multiple parties, it's like herding cats, but it can be done. So anyway, that's my intro. I'm sure more will come up as we go.
I had something I wanted to say about, like, people making it hard on themselves too. Like when you said, like, people sometimes have these crazy rituals for manifesting.
Yeah.
I mean, manifesting can be done in like an instant. It's like you put yourself in the state of mind of, like, I am this thing, and you embody all the energy of that thing. But it's also like, some people need to make it like they've earned it, sort of thing. And so they might need a ritual that makes it kind of like harder on themselves than it needs to be, but that's what's going to put them in the mindset of, like, receptivity. They're like, it's like this, like with losing weight. It's like, I did all this fucking shit. I went to the gym and I didn't eat any food that I liked for several months, and I'm going to lose weight. Goddamn, I'm going to fit into that pair of jeans. And it's like they feel like they have to earn it. They feel like they have to go through the painful process of, like, earning it, and, like, being in a state of lack or not, like it. But if that gets them in the mindset of, like, I'm receiving that, I am worthy of this thing, then it can work, but it just makes it a lot harder than it necessarily needs to be.
So that's exactly what spell work is. It's going through a ritual with certain things to put you in the mindset to manifest something, and using things that are aligned with that energy, herbs that are aligned with money, crystals that are aligned with healing, things like that. That's exactly what spell work is. And with manifesting, you're right. People sometimes need those hoops. And if you got to start that way, fine. You will soon come to learn how much easier it can be. But also, it's not, as we imagine, say, what our outcome is, there are a lot of hurdles in our minds that we have to not jump, knock down, get rid of them. Things that we have to deprogram. Oh, I'm not good at that, or I'm not good at this. You have to learn a different way of saying it. And sometimes it's just a matter of, if you find that cycle of negativity, you just say, just for today, and you limit it to today. Just for today, I'm feeling this way. You know, I don't feel good, and then I don't want to manifest. I don't feel good. I say that all the time. Now I don't feel good. Now I never feel good. Just for today, I don't feel good. Tomorrow I'm going to feel better. And then the next day, now you have to start saying, I am feeling better. But you have to work through those things. It's a lot of affirmations, but we'll get to it. I don't want to take up too much more time. It'll all be explained.
Right on. So what we do on the show, guys, is we kind of watch some videos that are on the YouTubes and we talk about them. And if you want to do commentary in the chat about what you think about it, please feel free to do so. Again, though, we just ask that people be nice and don't be a dick or anything like that. Oh, Jennifer, guess what? We can now see the chat on the screen. So I can click a button.
That won't be distracting at all.
Well, it's not that bad, actually. I think it's kind of nice for people to see their chat show up on the screen. And I don't know, like a little record of it. So... all right, everyone relax. Everyone mount the like button. The first video we're watching is called Your Thoughts Create Your Reality. Ooh.
Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. So we're going to talk today about how your thoughts create reality. It seems like I talk about that all the time, but if you go back through my episodes, I don't have any episodes on the fact that your thoughts create reality.
This guy's got a good voice.
I've definitely read some material from Goddard and Joseph Murphy, hundreds of different authors, in fact, that confirm the idea that our thoughts create reality. But I want to stand with you here today and make the argument with you specifically that your thoughts create reality, because I know I'm talking to someone out there that can hear my voice that simply doesn't believe this, or they act like they believe it, but they simply don't when it comes down to it. They will take actions that simply go against the idea that their thoughts create reality. There are a lot of people who are offended by the idea that we create our reality.
Isn't that the truth? And most of those people are Christian. No offense, Christians. There's a lot of people who are just like really offended on a deep personal level about the idea that you create your own reality. And I've been swarmed by those people on the internet a couple times, Jennifer, I don't mind saying.
I have a couple of friends who have given their life so completely to God that they are completely powerless. They're absolutely powerless. They're just like, whatever God wants, and nothing ever happens. They just float. They go to, one of them doesn't even have a job at the moment because they're on medical leave, but it kind of makes me sad. It's like, go grab life. Oh, whatever God wants me to do. Well, God put you on this earth to go grab life. Go grab life.
Well, that's the thing. It's like,
makes me mad.
I don't understand people who do that, because it's like, do you think that God sent you here to just like sit around and wait for him to tell you what to do? Like, first of all, that's like an incredibly selfish thing. God is busy, and I understand God is infinite and all powerful, but there are billions of people in the world, and even more billions of people or things or entities in the universe. It's not all about you. Selfish.
No, he gave you your own car to drive. Go fledge. It's okay, honey. Keep the advice Papa gave you and go have a life. And it makes me a little mad, because I'm like, well, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Or maybe go do this, or go find that. Well, I haven't heard from God yet. I haven't had this. They're looking for signs.
Well, have you been listening, or have you been like sticking your fingers in your ear going, ah, la, 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 la. It's like,
and I mean, I don't mean to belittle their process, but it's frustrating, because then they wonder why they're alone, or they're sad, or they can't find a better job, or they can't do other things. It's like, because you're not trying. Well, God hasn't shown it to me yet. Where you look, where is God going to show up in your living room and go, George, I found the job, George. It's over there, George. You know, like, what are you expecting? Bless your heart.
Yeah. I have one person that I've been dealing with for a while, and like, and like, you know, I'm not gonna go on the whole backstory, but just like, suffice it to say, this person is waiting for a perfect moment to like approach me with something. And I know that. I've read this person. I know what the fuck is going on. I know exactly what's going on with this situation. He is like waiting for like the stars in the universe have to align for this thing to happen and blah, 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 blah. And I've been giving him opportunities to just like actually just get it over with. Like I've been like just pinging him and I'm not being overt about it, but I'm just like, hey, here's an opportunity to deal with this. Here's an opportunity to deal with this. And he won't do it because he's like, the stars are not perfectly aligned. And it's like, you moron, Like, how many fucking chances do you want? But it's like he's waiting for something else to happen. I'm like, can you just stop? It's actually ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, and also I think what is sad is if anybody thinks, that they're going through something really hard. Now, when I was a Christian, it was called a trial. You're going through a trial. You didn't create this. God did it to you, or Satan did it to you. Somebody did it to you.
You did it.
You don't have power. If you had power, you wouldn't need God. That's the cycle. And so that's what I find. I find that to be a little sad. They're like, oh, well, I just need to suffer right now, I guess. Okay, how long are you gonna let that go on? Oh, bless. Okay.
Yep. Literally every time I pull tarot cards on this person, do you know what card comes up? The Two of Swords.
I almost said the Tower, but that can't be right. Okay.
No, the Two of Swords. Every time, because he's just sitting there waiting to make a decision, just being absolutely stuck.
There's a blockage.
And if you look at like other parts of like his life, again, it's like you can see it's like it's not even just me. He's not moving on anything. And it's just like, what a sad way to be, honestly.
Sometimes we need those moments to sit, but make it intentional.
Yeah.
There's a difference between sitting and being intentionally still to figure things out and then stagnating. Stagnating is never a good place you want to be, I don't think.
Yeah. How do you get unstuck? You decide to move.
Motion.
You just do something. Do something. Create some sort of anything. Doesn't matter.
Random. Write a bunch of things on a piece of paper, tape it to your wall, and throw a dart at it or something, or throw something at it, see what it hits, and go do something like anything random. Like today I'm gonna do this random thing. What could it be? I'm gonna go to a shoe store. Okay, is there any open yet? I'm gonna go see a shoe store. You never know, just something different that is outside of your realm. I know that sounds not interesting, but it might take you to a mall where you might find something you needed or wanted or missed, or you might find somebody you ran into. You don't know. Put yourself in the way of the universe.
They see it as a version of blaming the victim. Nobody asked for bad things to happen to them. Of course not. But as someone who's been helping people change their thinking and behavior, I can also say that I couldn't agree more with the idea that we do indeed create much of our reality. Denying this denies your power.
Exactly.
So it's very important that you accept this fact before you do anything else. Your thoughts create reality. If you Google the power of thoughts, you get a lot of results, including words like consciousness and swami and manifest and unleash.
Swami.
To me, these words suggest a basis not rooted securely in science and more rooted in marketing hype, but they are all based in truth. But let's see if we can find the science behind this. I want you to know that the influence your thoughts have on your physical and perceptual reality is well documented by scientific evidence. I think more articles should emphasize this point because it is the very real power we have to change our lives. If I was talking to my dad, who is really the scientific version of me, he would say, Brian, this is just magical thinking. I can assure you, it is not. Thoughts are real.
You know, the reason this is effective to talk about like the science behind this is because people need to believe that it's possible. And it's like, if it's just this like, oh yeah, you imagine that you've got a happy life and a nice car and all that stuff. People are like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. But like, if you actually give them the studies, then they start to think, oh, maybe there's something to this crazy thing.
Yeah, and we're not talking like imagining that, I'm going to imagine a candy cane is coming out of my ass. It's not like that. There is a parameter to it. It's also because we know what we're capable of. We know what reality is. And, if you really need to spend a lot of time manifesting a candy cane out of your ass, by all means, it's your life. But enjoy the power that you have. And quantum physics has been proving all kinds of neat shit in this realm too. So, but yeah, there's a method to this and a reason for all of it.
Tangible, measurable things, electrical impulses, they are powerful, and you can direct and use them to help you. Unfortunately, most of us let them hurt us unknowingly. My thoughts used to really hurt me, and I have chosen to change my thoughts, and it has changed my life. So the first concept I want you to understand that is really important is that your reality is the product of your unique brain. At the most basic level, your unique reality is constructed by your unique brain. Your brain is unlike anyone else's, and so is your reality. Making sense of the world and what happens is the result of your individual brain's interpretation of the signals it receives as you go about your days interacting with your environment. Much of what you think of as reality is really a construction of your brain. This is really important for you to understand, and I continually try to remind myself of this. You do not actually experience the world directly. In the neuroscience of reality, Debbie Hampton writes, it may feel as though you have direct access to the concrete physical world through your senses, but you don't. Your senses do not experience the world directly. When you touch something, it feels like the touch is happening in your fingers. However, it is not. It's happening in your brain. The same is true for all your senses. Seeing doesn't happen in the eyes. Hearing doesn't take place in your ears. Smelling does not happen in your nose.
Put it that way.
That is
These
crazy.
are all activities of your brain. In his book, The Brain, The Story of You, David Eagleman writes, here's the key.
I feel like this is a hard thing for people to wrap their heads around. But it's like, it's not wrong. Like, all this stuff happens because your brain receives the information and then translates it.
Yeah, telling you where the sensation is, why the sensation is, what the sensation is. I mean, we have to perceive it where it is, or we could not function in the real world. So, but yeah, it's all happening right in here. It's just happening really fast.
The brain has no access to the world outside. Sealed within the dark, silent chamber of your skull, your brain has never directly experienced the external world, and it never will.
True.
Instead, there's only one way that information from out there gets into the brain. Everything you experience, every sight, sound, smell, rather than being a direct experience, is an electrochemical rendition in a dark theater. This is an important distinction. It means that your brain assigns meaning to the electrical signals it receives. Its interpretation is determined by your subconscious. Each of us experiences the world subjectively, as our brains interpret stimuli determined by our physical brain function, memories, beliefs, and attitudes about ourselves, others, and the world, shaped by family, religion, school, culture, and life experiences past and present. These influences are typically below conscious awareness and determine how a person responds to the world, interacts in relationships, and thinks of and talks to themselves.
Hang on. This is exactly what we said we didn't want tonight. You don't have to be here. No one forced you to click on this is literally a video that is titled Create Your Reality and Manifesting. If you didn't want to learn about that, don't click on it. You know, the reason I'm making a point of this is like, I've had Christians come into my comments in the last couple of days and they're like, Karlyn, I lost track of you, but I unsubscribed from your channel when you did tarot cards on the internet. But I'm so glad to see you're not doing that tarot card bullshit anymore. And I'm like, I remember responding to them going, you're going to be real disappointed, I promise you. And So goodbye. We don't want you here. Go away.
Listen, you can make an example out of my examples, whoever that person was, and that's fine. You go ahead, be the best you. Go make fun. See how far that gets you in life.
Exactly. Enjoy karma when it comes to bite you in the ass.
And learn how to spell tarot, for the love.
Yeah, for real. What the fuck is this bullshit? You're mad at something you don't even know how to spell the word. Come on, be better.
So stimuli coming into your brain are neutral. Nothing is good or bad or associated with any emotions or actions until your brain attaches those things to it. Therein lies the power to influence your reality. You can consciously direct and influence your thoughts at that point. As Stephen Covey said, each of us tends to think we see things as they are, that we are objective. But that's not the case. We see the entire world as we are, or as we are conditioned to see it. And there is science to prove this. In Jonah Lehrer's book, Proust Was a Neuroscientist, he tells of experiments conducted by Frederic Brochet in 2001 at the University of Bordeaux. Appropriately enough, the experiments involved wine. In the first one, Brochet took 2 glasses of the exact white wine, colored one of them red with food coloring, and proceeded to get observations from 57 wine experts. The experts described the red wine in terms of its jamminess and other red wine jargon. Not one of them identified it as a white wine. In another test, Brochet took the same medium quality Bordeaux and served it in 2 different bottles. One bottle was labeled to look like a fancy fine wine, while the other was labeled to resemble a common table wine. The wine experts gave the exact same wine in different bottles very different ratings. The wine in the expensive bottle was described as agreeable, complex, balanced, rounded, while the identical wine with a cheap-looking label was said to be weak, short, light, flat, and faulty. What these wine experiments illuminate is the omnipresence of subjectivity. Our human brain has been designed to believe itself wired so that prejudices...
Go ahead.
What came to mind about that is that old adage, don't dress for the job you have, dress for the job you want.
Mm-hmm.
And how, like, people who will work in an office, but they don't have to wear the suits because they're not in the upper ups. But you can always tell who's gunning to be an upper up, an uppity up, because they're the ones wearing the suits, and they're, they work in the mailroom, or they work, maybe they just have a low level, small cubicle position. But it's that, and that recognition, because the uppity ups, the suits are going to see you and go, that guy, I'll bet that guy could do it. But they're not going to look at the punk in the khakis and the t-shirt, So,
or the punk in the khakis and the t-shirt will have to prove himself in a significantly different way, which does happen. But it's also like, no, I mean, you're right. It's like you have to dress for the role you want, and if you're in an environment where people who are like in the higher levels wear suits and ties, then that's the environment you put yourself in. And if you want it to be easier and you want to dress like a punk, go work for a marketing agency or something like that. Go work for a company where that's more of like a cultural norm.
Yeah, and I had another thought I wanted to, because I was going back to that. How do you break through? How do you get unstuck? And I was kind of pondering it. It's like, I remember a piece of advice that I got that worked for me. That is something that's really good to think about if we ever get stuck. Do something that makes you uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean go put yourself in an uncomfortable position that you're going to get traumatized from, but do something that makes you a little uncomfortable, just something you wouldn't normally do. And you know what those things are if you know yourself well enough. Go try something different. Have lunch by yourself. Do something a little weird and unexpected that changes the energy in some way. And you never know. I think Max started doing movie nights on Monday. Yeah. And he's a very, normally kind of a shy person, and this is helping him come out of his shell. And I know that he's mentioned that to me, and he said it, to a movie night itself. So I'm not speaking out of turn, but just try something different. That's all.
Feel like facts. Opinions are indistinguishable from the actual sensations. If we think the wine is cheap, it will taste cheap. If we think we are tasting a Grand Cru, then we will taste a Grand Cru. Your brain is a subjective lens through which you view your life. Lehrer explains that the taste of wine, like everything in life, is more than the sum of our senses. What we experience is not what we literally sense. Our experiences are the interpretations of...
Can I just say, we love horror movies. Says I made myself go to 2 movies by myself last week, and it was dope. I love going to the movies by myself. I like going to the movies with my husband and maybe with other people too, but I love going to movies by myself. I love going out to just have lunch by myself and just sit in a bars. I fucking love it.
I love that. And bring a book, and you just get to sit and enjoy and feel all smarmy all by yourself with a little book and a little lunch cocktail.
It's true. Nick says, Nick, thank you for being a member of the channel. As much as I miss Joshua tarot readings, I've enjoyed seeing Jennifer as your co-host on here for DISENRAGE. Even though time isn't real, we love you, Jennifer. Exactly.
You bastards.
I think this turned out exactly like it should have been. And I know some people still miss Joshua, but you can go over to his YouTube channel and talk to him over there. But I'm feeling much. This has made me more calm. I will say it's made me, it's forced me to, like, because we're talking about this like every week and we're watching all these videos. I'm like, I want to really get back into the spirituality again. And I feel like that's part of why I've been manifesting things. So because we've just been thinking about it more.
Oh, same. It's that reminder. Like, I used to have a pagan group I hung out with, and I got ostracized for political reasons. So it's nice to, like, come to my people. This is my church, learn something and talk about things. And then I think about it all week, and I feel like I'm getting bigger,
Yep. So true.
Sensations by a subjective brain which factors in our unique beliefs, biases, memories, and desires every time. In a very literal sense, your brain is a subjective lens through which you experience life. Lara goes on to say that even if we could experience the wine exactly as it is, without subjectivity, we would still all taste it differently because each of our brains is unique on a cellular level. And the part of the brain which interprets taste and smell is extremely malleable. It is forever growing and pruning neurons throughout our lives. The research of Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck further illustrates the influence of our minds on our reality. Her research is the basis of an understanding of how your brain and mindset affect your reality. In her book, Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, she explores the power of our beliefs, both conscious and unconscious, and how even the simplest changes can have a measurable impact on almost every aspect of life. She writes, "For 20 years, my research has shown that the view you adapt for yourself profoundly affects the way you lead your life. It can determine whether you become the person you want to be and whether you accomplish the things you value." Harvard psychologist Ellen Langer studied the effect of thoughts on hotel maids. Even though these women spent all day moving their bodies, pushing vacuum cleaners, going up and down steps, bending and stretching, 67% of them said they got no exercise. Langer told half the maids that their activity level met the U.S. Surgeon General's definition of an active lifestyle. The other group did not receive similar information. Both groups just did their jobs as usual for a month. Langer's team measured the maids' physical health statistics. At the beginning of the study, the findings matched the maids' perceived lack of exercise. When measured a month later, the group that was told their job actively qualified as exercise saw a decrease in weight and waist to hip ratio and a 10% drop in blood pressure.
I think Helen Langer, maybe they talk about this study, but I think Ellen Langer is also the Harvard psychologist that did the turn back time study. Did they talk about this? Do you recognize that? So basically what happened is, so they took a bunch of old men to like a monastery in New Hampshire. And I used to talk about this study in talks that I gave, where they took it's like, you know that episode of the Twilight Zone where like the old people they kick the can, the episode. Yeah. So it's kind of like that. So they took the older men to like this isolated area in New Hampshire, and they took out all of the mirrors so the men couldn't see themselves, and the men had to dress in clothes that they wore when they were younger, and they brought pictures of them when they were younger, and like they made up the whole thing. So it was like it was playing like on the TV they had like TV shows from when they were younger and like newspapers from so basically they were trying to see if we can put people in the mindset of like turning back the clock, and we manipulate everything. Like, what does that actually do? And so one of the things that happened is that they all got more physically healthy, but they had independent people judge how the men looked based on photographs, like before and after. And after they did this, they were judged to even like their appearance got younger based on independent people judging them that never knew them.
That's crazy. I love
Is that crazy? Yeah.
I believe it. Like, absolutely. I told myself I wouldn't age after 25, and I look almost exactly the same.
I look exactly like I do. No, actually, I feel like I look better today than when I was 29. I mean, maybe I had less weight when I was 29, which is, of course, all people focus on the internet.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
like, I actually think, like, physically, I look younger now than I did when I was 29.
Yeah, I think note to self, next time I decide not to age anymore, keep the waistline.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. If only metabolism and, like, french fries never caught up with us and stuff like that. Oh,
That's gonna be
man.
my next work. Fries have no calories.
Yeah. French fries are so effing good, and I never eat french fries hardly ever, but they're so good.
Yeah, they are.
But if I eat them, I will gain another ass, and that's just not
You're already dealing enough with them on the internet.
I know.
None of the maids had changed their routines. The only differences were in how one group viewed what they did. According to Langer, if you believe that you're exercising, then your body responds as if you are.
Yo.
One study showed that being told you slept well or poorly determined how people's bodies physically responded. In the study, researchers explained the effects of REM sleep on sleep quality and told participants that average REM sleep should be around 20 to 25% of total sleep. Participants were then divided into groups assigned a sleep quality fitted with sensors and told that the researchers were monitoring vital signs in REM sleep. The monitoring was false, as were the group labels. The below average group was led to believe they got 16.2% REM sleep, while the above average group was told they got 28% REM sleep. After the results were dispensed, the researchers administered cognitive tests to the study participants, assessing basic math and verbal skills. People who were told they had low-quality sleep performed worse on the tests and showed more cognitive deficits than the control and high-quality sleep groups. Everything in your life is similar to the wine, the maid, and the sleep experiments. Everything. Every situation or event, past, present, or future, becomes what your brain defines it to be. In a recent interview I had with Nick Zay, he refers to the universe as a placebo universe. So when you look at everything that you're defining your life as, it is all happening within. There is no true reality. It is only subjective.
So true.
In this way, in this understanding, your experience of reality is your own creation. Your brain, even physically, responds by reinforcing neural connections that coincide with your predominant habitual thinking, a concept known as neuroplasticity. In other words, your recurrent thinking patterns physically shape your brain's form and function, which then reinforces and encourages more of the same kind of thinking. It might feel in some situations like you can't choose your thoughts, that everything is subconscious. But at a minimum, you can choose how you respond to your thoughts. There is your control. This is your power you have to change your brain and life for the better. Controlling your thoughts, changing your thoughts, is directed neuroplasticity. It gives you the power to choose. Change your thoughts and change your world, as Norman Vincent Peale says. Neuroplasticity is actually an umbrella term referring to the many capabilities of your brain to reorganize itself throughout your life due to your environment, behavior, and internal experiences. Science used to believe that the brain was only changeable during certain periods in childhood. While it is true that your brain is much more plastic in the early years and capacity declines with age, plasticity happens throughout your life, from birth to death. Science has confirmed that you can access neuroplasticity for positive change in your own life in many ways. Harnessing neuroplasticity in adulthood isn't quite as simple as some people promise, but it can most definitely be accomplished under specific circumstances. From childhood through adulthood, the events of your life shape your brain. As little people grow, interact with others, and explore the world, connections are wired in their brains based on their experiences. When you're young, most of what happens is out of your control, or it feels like that. As adults, our brains are reflections of our daily routines. Your habits, both good and bad, literally get wired into your brain. As an adult, neuroplasticity...
Yo, this is so true. And I've had to spend so much time unraveling all the ways in which my parents fucked me up. And listen, they meant well, whatever. People do the best they can. Broken people break people, all that stuff. They didn't have it easy either. But like, I'm just saying that people don't like it when I say this, but like, parents fuck up their kids. And it's almost you if you have kids, you are going to fuck them up in some way. I'm sorry if I'm breaking your heart right now. You are not a perfect parent. You are not a perfect person. You're going to fuck them up in some way. Try to fuck them up as little as possible. But like, people have to spend time undoing that shit.
Oh yeah. Well, and some of it is programming. Now, I always have to be careful because my mom watches this show, usually on the replay. So.
Hi, Mrs. Jennifer.
My Mama Fire. Mama Fire is perfect and raised me perfectly, and I am a shining example of her perfection. And I'm absolutely not fucked up by anything. But it's more than just our folks. It's like all of our whole families. Our grandparents fuck us up. Our aunts and uncles, depending on who you spend time with, teachers, even other kids. Like I hated kids when I was a kid, and when I became an adult, I was so happy to grow up, not because I was bigger and older and could do more things, but because I wasn't around fucking kids anymore because they were so mean to me. So it depends on who you're around, what you absorb, and you have to think also there's generational trauma too. I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving. They pass it to your mom passes it to you, you pass it on to your kids, and it just keeps going and going. And it's all about also finding out who you are and separating your psyche from their psyche. We might call that trauma. Other people call it learning who you are, deprogramming the parent out of you and becoming who you are.
Does not happen as readily as it does in a child's brain, at least according to science, but it does happen. There are ways you can intentionally encourage and guide neuroplasticity to change in adulthood. You can try something new, mix things up, turn off your GPS, change your habits, exercise in a different way, train your brain, take trips and be social, do things that you don't normally do, and you change the way your brain is normally working. Your mind sculpts your brain. Everything you think, hope, feel, and imagine physically changes your brain for better or worse. You can intentionally harness this process for your benefit. Daniel Amen writes in You Are Not Your Brain, the 4-step solution for changing bad habits. We can actually use the mind to change the brain. The simple truth is that how we focus our attention, how we intentionally direct the flow of energy and information through our neural circuits can directly alter the brain's activity and its structures. There's ways we can do this through mindfulness. Research about the positive impact of mindfulness on the brain and mental health points to neuroplasticity as the cause in mindfulness by intentionally directing attention inward and cultivating awareness of the breath or thought and feelings. You are becoming aware of your brain's default mode network and exerting control over it. When you guide your default mode network, you're interrupting habitual thought patterns and orienting your brain in the present moment. Secondly, meditation. Along with many scientifically proven benefits of meditation for your brain, it increases neuroplasticity. Meditation has been proven to decrease stress, anxiety, and depression, which has been shown to limit neurogenesis and the birth of new brain cells. And you don't need to meditate for years to start reaping benefits. One study showed brain changes after just 8 weeks of regular meditation. Third, visualization. Neurons fire and chemicals are released in your brain whether something is real or imagined. Because as I said before, you're not experiencing the actual world. Sometimes the brain doesn't know the difference. So on brain scans, imaginative thoughts activate many identical brain areas, which directly...
That's actually true. I used to tell people, like, if you're in a bad mood, then just think about a time when you've been in a good mood. Like, actually, like not just think of it in passing, but actually just like shut your eyes for a second. Like, think of a time when like you were really happy or you were in a really great mood, or even just make it up because it doesn't even need to be a real thing. Just imagine yourself being in a really good mood in that moment. Your brain doesn't know the difference.
No. No, that's the power of imagination. But also, if you can't think of something, or because I'm a super stubborn. When I'm cranky, I enjoy being cranky.
Because you're a Capricorn.
Oh, fuck.
Because you're a fucking Capricorn. Because you're a goat.
Fine, whatever. I love being cranky. But after a while, I'm kind of like, okay, this bad attitude needs to go. And I always just think of something happy. I go, oh, sure, that's so cliche. And then I start arguing about it with an imaginary person. And so just smile. Smiling actually will change the hormones in your body. But also I try to look at something nice and I start thinking of things I'm thankful for instead of forcing myself, because I won't even listen to myself half the time. That's how stubborn I can be.
See, I think people do that a lot though, like, because it's like I know gratitude works, and I know that if I just think about things that I'm thankful for or grateful for, but like when you're in a really bad mood, you don't want to. You're like, no, I'm not. Everything fucking sucks. Everyone sucks, and everyone hates me, and I hate everyone, and they can all go to hell.
Yeah.
I will not be in a good mood. God damn it.
No, I am going to be bitch mode today, and you're all just going to deal with it. So, and then, but if you do catch yourself and you realize it's going to start maybe harming others, like your spouse comes home and you're just like, and they're like, God damn, what did I do? Okay, maybe I just need to go listen to some music for a minute and get out of the mindset.
This is why I yell at people on the internet, and I've had to be so nice lately. And like, and yesterday I really laid into someone in the chat because they were kind of being just like really boneheaded. And it was so funny because like I was watching the chat and it's like people hadn't seen me yell at anyone, like really yell at anyone in like a week. And I feel like the chat was like waiting for me to explode on someone. Like they knew it was coming. And that's exactly what happens. Like I started yelling and the chat's like, oh God, here it goes. And I kind of actually, because the chat was getting all spun up too. They're like, yeah!
You guys egg her on half the time. I know you do.
But that person deserved it. They needed to get yelled at. They were wrong.
Influence you physically and emotionally. From a neuroscientific perspective, imagining an act and doing it are not that different. Visualization allows you to put your imagination to work for you to change your brain. Research has validated the practice influences physical changes from muscle strength to brain pathways. Now, I've spent the last 15 minutes giving you the scientific rationale. This is directed to people I've met recently that have tried to tell me that there is no scientific basis on the fact that thoughts create reality. The truth is, your thoughts are all powerful. But let's move beyond that. And have you really ever stopped to consider the profound power of our thoughts and what they hold over our lives? The age-old adage, you become what you think, is not just a poetic statement, but a truth that holds deep resonance in the fabric of our existence. So let's explore the transformative power of our thoughts and how they sculpt the very reality we experience. At the core of our being, our thoughts are the genesis of everything. They are the silent architects that build our beliefs, influence our actions, and ultimately shape our destinies. Each thought, no matter how fleeting, sends ripples into the vast ocean of our consciousness, influencing our perspective and in turn, our reality. Consider for a moment the power of belief. A child who believes they can achieve great heights will take actions aligned with that belief. In contrast, a child who believes they are limited will often not venture beyond their perceived boundaries. Both realities are crafted by the foundational thoughts and beliefs they hold. The world did not tell them what to be. Their beliefs derived from their thoughts painted their world. Scientifically, the power of our thoughts has been demonstrated through the placebo effect. Patients, when given sugar pills but told they were receiving medication, have shown significant improvements solely based on their belief.
Go ahead.
I know this is like maybe breaking a little bit of one of our rules for doing DISENRAGE, but that's why certain people try to target young children and start programming their little brainies when they are little malleable sponges.
True.
And telling them this is true and that's true, and because you're this color, the world treats you this way. Because you're that color, the world treats you that way. And you start programming them young. Parents do this too. I don't think anybody is ever born a racist or a bigot or anything. We learn it. And that's all I want to say. But it creates a mind pattern for sure. And then we see it everywhere. People live in completely different worlds. I live in a world where everything is relatively calm. Other people walk around going, all I see are people being racist. And I'm like, how? Are we in the same street? Like, what's going on with you? It's very interesting.
I agree.
Their thoughts about healing and recovery without any actual medicinal intervention influenced their physical reality. But the influence of our thoughts goes beyond the individual. Thoughts, especially when amplified, collectively shape cultures, societies, and the course of history. When a group believes in a cause, be it justice, innovation, or revolution, their collective consciousness becomes a force of nature, moving mountains and redefining reality. When we start to really think about thoughts, we start to think about imagination. Something that we've talked a lot about, particularly with Neville Goddard, who really loved to use the term imagination creates reality.
Hey, we got Jeffrey in the chat. Jeffrey says, my mom overcame stage 4 cancer against all her doctor's beliefs. She never accepted any pain medication because she believed she didn't need it.
Wow. That's awesome.
I've heard of stuff happening like that where people just like, but the thing of it is like you have to get sincerely into that belief. It's not, you can't fake any of this stuff. And I think a lot of times people they want like a shortcut to something and they're like, I'm already doing that. I believe I don't need pain medication. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, if you believe you don't need pain medication, I want you to go take a hammer and drive a nail through your hand right now and just see what happens. You're gonna be like, no. It's like, right, because you don't actually believe it.
Right. Well, that will challenge your beliefs on it. Hi, Assy. We love Assy.
Gosh.
Referring to the imagination as God. The realm of the imagination is often considered the playground of the artist, the inventor, or the child. It's seen as a divergence from the real world, a place of dreams, fantasies, and fleeting whimsy. But what if I told you the power of the imagination is the very crucible in which our reality is forged?
Crucible.
At its essence, imagination is the ability to form images, ideas, and sensations in our mind without any immediate input from the senses. It is the canvas of creativity where everything and anything is possible. Every great invention, piece of art, or social movement at its inception was just a fragment of someone's imagination. Take the Wright brothers, for instance. Before their aerodynamic feats became a reality, the idea of human flight was merely a figment of imagination, relegated to myths and dreams. But it was their ability to vividly imagine and then act upon the imagination that transformed a world bound by gravity into one where we could soar among the clouds. However, the alchemy of turning imagination into reality isn't exclusive to monumental achievements. It's an integral part of our daily lives. When you visualize your goals, imagine a desired outcome, or mentally rehearse a skill, you're laying the cognitive blueprints for that scenario to manifest in reality. And I've now pointed to this neuroscientific research that basically says that our brains can't distinguish between what we're vividly imagining and what we're actually experiencing. What I am fascinated by is that you can find echoes of this bouncing around everywhere, from Tony Robbins to New Thought churches to t-shirts at Target. The Secret, which has sold millions of copies, claims to teach you how to unlock the hidden potential of the universe, to bring all you desire with the law of attraction. Regardless of the modality or philosophy, the simple explanation is this: focus on the desired outcome in your mind and it will happen. This isn't a new idea, and not by a long shot. Back in the 1800s, Emerson said, "Speak your latent conviction and it shall be a universal sense. For the inmost in due time becomes the outmost." I create reality by taking an idea in my mind and bringing it into existence. Going back hundreds of years, people have held the belief that human mind is capable of changing reality. It's obvious. I have an idea in my mind for a chair. I think about what the chair will look like, what to make it out of, and what color it will be, all in my mind. Then I create the chair by purchasing the materials and going to work on the wood.
I think that's why I like art so much.
Yeah,
what
real.
about things we don't seem to have direct control over? We've talked about the science of this, and most of those things are with the body or things we have direct control over, can this same creative process explain how we create all parts of our reality? Let's start with how our thoughts can change our minds and make us seek out certain types of information. If I spend a day thinking a negative thought such as, I am lazy, how would that impact me? How would that impact you? I would consider myself lazy and also discover other thoughts such as, no wonder no one likes me, or I can't be successful because I'm too lazy, or I can't get anything done because I'm too lazy, or it's just going to be too hard because I'm too lazy. The seed thought of I am lazy, when nurtured with constant repetition and focus, grows into similar thoughts. Like attracts like. One thought attracts other thoughts that are similar. Most have experienced this with the downward spiral of procrastinating or gaining weight. Take it a step further, and it's not hard to see the connection between our thoughts and our actions. Far from pseudoscience, the relationship between positive thinking and positive actions is well documented. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a commonly used technique used for treating anxiety, depression, borderline personality disorder. It's based on the principle that our thoughts, emotions, and actions all influence each other. If I'm afraid of getting in a car crash, I might start thinking about a car turning in front of me, the collision, the trip to the hospital, and someone dying. This sequence will cause physiological changes related to my emotions, an increased heart rate, a stomach ache, or nausea. Then it will influence my actions by causing me to decide not to get into a car, or to not only drive certain roads at a certain time of day. If I repeat this cycle while I'm behind the wheel, I may be so paranoid about an accident that I actually drive worse, thereby increasing my chances of getting into an accident.
Go ahead.
You can see how it sounds so hard to heal ourselves. It sounds so hard to make ourselves better or create our reality in the positive way. But the way he's describing creating your own psychosis, that sounds so much easier, doesn't it? For some reason, we are really attracted to negativity for some reason. It's something I need to meditate on. I need to ask for some answers about that, because it's just really interesting. It's got to be tied into some sort of survival instinct where we're programmed to see the negative so that we can get out of its way or something, but it's just fascinating.
Well, I mean, that's part of why, so one of the things that Joshua and I used to talk about is that if I wanted to be the best at analyzing the left on the internet, I needed to become obsessed with it. I needed to be the person who was the most obsessed with it would become the best at it. And obsession isn't not necessarily framed in the best way. And but have I not become obsessed with it in the last several? I mean, it's like I literally did the thing, and now it's I can't stop. So, but it is a way to do it, right?
Becoming obsessed with something is how am I going to say that in English? Hold on, I had too many words trying to come out of my mouth at the same time. It is how you allocate priority. So yeah, you need to become obsessed with it, especially if you want to become really good at it. This is why people who are athletes train for hours and hours. They're obsessed with being good at what they're doing. Same thing with musicians. Any professional who wants to be the best, you have to dedicate time to it and effort and be obsessed. I think it's the right thing.
We've all seen this. This could be a form of manifestation, a self-fulfilling prophecy, or creating my own reality. On the positive note, thoughts like I am creative might lead similar thoughts to I could write a book. I should start painting again. These thoughts might result in an uplifted mood, which increases dopamine in the brain and energizes the body. I might then decide to purchase some painting supplies or sign up for a new course on writing books. There's nothing mystical going on here yet, but it is still an example of change your thinking, change your life. Let's take it a step further and talk about how the thought patterns we've been discussing can shape the way we see the world. This boils down to the fundamental understanding of how human perception works. As I mentioned before, our brains fill in the gaps of our perception so seamlessly that we don't recognize it's happening. We've all seen the different optical illusions like the spinning dancer or the train that's moving, and you think it's moving forward, but it's actually moving backwards, or it's moving right or left. It's all perception. The brain fills in gaps of our perception so seamlessly that we don't even recognize it's happening. You observe this phenomenon like a blind spot in your eye and being able to read a sentence even when
like
all the
lyrics.
words are slightly misspelled.
Like lyrics.
Have you ever heard those where they'll change, like there's this one guy, I think it's a Canadian talk show or radio show or something, where they'll play some lyrics that sound a little, you're not sure exactly what they're saying, and then he'll tell you what they're saying, and then you hear that, and he's like, wait a minute, no, they're actually saying this, and then you hear that. He's like, what about this? And then you hear that, and it's the same lyrics. It's really interesting how you perceive it. Somebody earlier asked, and I meant to mention this, who we are listening to. This is Brian Scott with 2 T's. Brian Scott, in case you're wondering.
What we control and what we really start to create our reality is in how we perceive, interpret, think about the events in our life that generate our feelings about those events, and how we subsequently respond with our behavior. No one can choose your thoughts or actions. Those are yours alone. It seems there is conscious and unconscious influence over how we perceive things. We also create our reality through language. Check out my episode on the power of language and the ways that one language can define a reality for you as opposed to another. For instance, the French refer to a bridge in masculine terms and the Germans refer to it in feminine terms. Completely colors and changes the way that you think about that single word. So far we've been talking about our perceived reality. That's what we believe and assume about the things we see. What about actually creating something from nothing or manifesting reality through our thoughts? I remember a woman I knew who wanted a Tesla for $0 down and $0 per month. Sounds crazy, right?
I want a Tesla
She repeatedly
for $0.
said, I own a Tesla and I owe nothing down on it and nothing per month. She puts it up on a vision board, and after 3 months of looking at this, she enters a relationship with a man who is a firefighter who has a Tesla. She has her Tesla to drive for $0 down and $0 a month.
Nice. You never know how it's going to show up.
Just one example of millions of people who will testify that this is possible. Millions of people testify that manifestation is possible.
Manifestation 100% works, but you just have to like be committed to actually doing it. And this is part of why it doesn't work for people. It's like they're not fully committed, they don't fully understand it, so they're like saying I want. Well, you're never going to manifest something if you're saying I want. So it's like if you understand how it works and you commit yourself to actually just like doing it, you can manifest crazy shit, man. You really can.
I got my husband that way. I got this house that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's crazy. Like, you manifested your husband. I mean,
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
it's nuts. Yeah.
Every single time I read one of these episodes from an author, they're giving multiple examples. How many examples do you need?
I mean, even it doesn't even need to be anything big. Like I've manifested parking spaces in busy parking lots. That's like one of the best. It's like you'll guide me to the parking space or whatever, and then you just find it, and like there's no business that parking space should have been open, but it was. Or like I've manifested many, probably hundreds of upgrades on hotels and like airplanes and stuff like that. And it's just like you just really never know. But it's like you just ask. It's like I'm going to be upgraded to first class today, and then I am.
Well, they always say, like, start with something simple, like a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. Manifest a cup of coffee for yourself today, or something that will come to you easily. And it can be as simple as, well, I'm going to go make myself a cup of coffee. Oh, I did it. I did the thing, okay. But it's just that little bit of exercise and affirmation. Sounds silly, sounds trite, but it's a start,
Mm-hmm.
Billions, because that's what it feels like we've been given from these different examples. How can merely thinking about something bring it into existence. Throughout human existence, we observe the world around us and create rules and laws to explain it. The scientific method was created as a way to objectively observe, manipulate, measure, and come to conclusions about the natural universe. This arose with the 19th century scientific revolution that brought mechanistic science to the mainstream. Still today, this mechanistic or Newtonian science is the foundation of what is being taught in schools and how most Westerners see the world. It's because of this that they deny the idea that thoughts create reality, because that's looked as anti-science. Mechanistic science treats the entire world as a machine, similar to how I press the power button on my computer and it turns on. The natural world responds to events in a predictable fashion. There are a few laws that were created to explain how the natural world works, which you may have heard of. One is that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Another is energy is never created or destroyed, only moved or transformed.
True.
Remember that humans create these laws to make sense of what they observe. Our scientific laws and truths are only current, best definitions of what actually is, and they have changed many times over the course of history. There are a few problems with these Newtonian laws, most notably the law of gravity. You've heard the whole apple fell on Newton's head story, right? First of all, it's not a true story. More importantly, while Newton was the first to call it gravity and come up with a mathematical formula for it, he was wrong. Newton believed gravity was action at a distance, or that objects exert some invisible force that attracts other objects. Well, there are a few interesting scenarios where Newton's law didn't quite hold up. And we now know, given new evidence and new tests, that Newton was wrong. So how does gravity actually work? Einstein is the currently accepted winner of this debate with the theory of general relativity. Rather than action at a distance, Einstein's theory is that objects actually curve the fabric of space-time, causing them to move like a marble spinning around a drain, always headed towards the eventual endpoint. So it's clear that our understanding of the universe, that there are things known and there are things unknown, and in between, as Aldous Huxley said, are the doors of perception. So what does all this science mumbo-jumbo have to do with creating your own reality? It serves as an important point to show us that we don't have all the answers, and that the current way of defining cause and effect is based on an old mechanistic viewpoint that's been disproven. We've seen that humanity's ability to collect data, make decisions, and impart our will on the world is incredible and not replicated in any other species. We use this unique power to grow our own food, make water drinkable, create new molecules, and see backwards in time. So do we also use this power to create our own reality? As in, can we manifest the reality we want? Let's assume the law of cause and effect is true. Every effect has a cause that precedes it. In other words, life isn't random chaos. We reap what we sow. To determine the rules for this law, i.e. how it works, we would have to conduct an experiment. In the experiment, we would repeat the same action over and over again and see if it produces the same results. I got a new job. That's the effect. What was the cause of me getting the new job? Well, you might assume it was because I applied for a job. To test this theory, we have 1,000 other people apply for a job, the cause, to see if they get a new job. But to prove this cause and effect, the experiment would have to work 100% of the time. If even one of those 1,000 people didn't get the job, I would be certain that applying was not the cause of me getting a new job. So what was the cause? Most likely it's a combination of upbringing, education, beliefs, talents, interests, previous employment history, and the fact that I applied. How can I prove this? I can't. There's no way to perfectly reproduce my entire life to see if things still work out the same. In short, we can't know what the cause is to a lot of the effects we see in our lives. Neville Goddard said there was one cause, and that was the Creator. We can get into that on another level. It's not the point of this episode. I want you who are doubters, that are of the scientific background, to look at this and understand that it's still very possible There's a huge limitation in the scientific method. It's simply unable to account for all the data in human life. People have been pointing out for years that the mechanistic viewpoint of how the world works ignores or denies human agency, values, creativity, and personal or individual evolution. When science is unable to prove something, what are you left with? Direct experience, intuition, and faith. Our Newtonian upbringing causes us to assume the outcomes of our lives are exclusively due to physical earthly processes, but what if they're not? What if, like millions of people have believed over the centuries, there's not just physical law and also spiritual law? What if the earthly is but the showing forth of some of the results of that law? This idea isn't at odds with science, physics, or mathematics. We can accept those principles as true while still having faith in the unseen workings of the universe. All we're doing is adding an unknown variable to our equations. The cause of getting a job could be a daily visualization and affirmation practice. The mind and spoken word could influence the ethers to bring about the job I desire and place me directly in its path. I have no way to know for certain based on the limitations of current scientific models, and maybe I'm not meant to know. Maybe faith is a part of the equation. But quantum physics does establish that there is a role of consciousness with the observer effect. One of the most famous and puzzling aspects of quantum physics is the observer effect demonstrated in experiments like the double slit experiment. In its basic form, the experiment shows that particles can act both as particles and waves.
Oh, yeah.
What's particularly strange is that the behavior of these particles changes based on whether they're being observed. Some interpretations suggest that the act of observation collapses the wave function into a definite state. Beyond that, there's so many amazing authors that have documented the ways in which thoughts create reality. Of course, you have Neville Goddard, who proposed that imagination creates reality. Then secondly, you have Napoleon Hill. His foundational principle is that thoughts are things. He believed that a clear and strong desire, paired with persistent thought and positive emotion, could manifest real-world outcomes. He emphasized the importance of the subconscious mind, faith, and visualization in achieving one's desires. Then you have Joseph Murphy, who proposed that our subconscious processes are the creators of reality. Then there's James Allen. Allen's work suggests that a person's mind shapes their reality, comparing thoughts to a garden. He writes, "As he thinks in his heart, so he is," suggesting that individuals have the power to dictate their circumstances based on their innermost thoughts. Then you have Dr. Wayne Dyer, who taught and believed the transformative power of thoughts. He said that change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change, emphasizing the role of perception in shaping reality. There's Louis Hay, Rhonda Byrne, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Deepak Chopra, Neil Donald Walsh. All of them proposed this. There's hundreds more.
We still have to do Joe Dispenza Day. Maybe I'll do that for my turn next weekend. We'll do Joe Dispenza Day.
He's great. I was watching some of his stuff not long ago. I'm looking up that double slit experiment in case anybody doesn't know what that is or what that means. And I found a little 3-minute video that maybe we can throw up after this just to explain what that means.
Cool.
So, if you don't believe that your thoughts create reality at this point, I'm not sure what else I can do. The process of actually creating the reality that you want is an art form. And in many ways, it's that old story of the blind men that come upon the elephant. I've said it many times, and so many speakers love to use that analogy. But we are all the blind men that come upon this elephant. Some feel the trunk, some feel the tail, some feel the leg, and our perception of that element is colored by a very limited understanding of this world. So we don't entirely know, and we may not ever entirely know the process of it. We've talked about all this, but let me give you my story. I would watch YouTube, read books, and become aware of this phenomenon, tested it out very often. Something very simple. I would like to get a red apple. And I would say to myself, I want this red apple. And then I would start researching it and say, oh, I need to do a little bit more than just think about the red apple. I'm going to taste it. Hold the red apple in my hands. Taste it. And imagine that it's my red apple. And then I want to have this red apple for no money. I want a free red apple. How am I going to have this free red apple? So I imagined that I was holding an apple that was free. And I could feel the joy of holding this free red apple. And literally a couple of days later, a neighbor comes by and says, we got some extra red apples. I just wanted to give you some. This is not a coincidence. This kind of thing happens all the time. On a larger scale, I used to watch YouTube videos and read books all the time, and I would imagine that I have written my own book and done my own YouTube videos that people are watching. So I would see my book with my name on it. I would see my book and imagine it. I would imagine the feeling of other people talking about my book, holding the book in my hands. Next thing you know, I've written a book. I would imagine watching my own YouTube videos, listening to the sound of my voice, the feeling of satisfaction and fulfillment for having done the video. And then months later, I have that exact moment where I'm watching myself, hearing my voice, and feeling that feeling of satisfaction. That is just one of a million stories I can give, because literally every single second of your life has been created by a thought from the past. Everything. And so every moment of your life is an example of the ways that your thoughts create reality, because you are living within a thought construct. So I would love for you to share in the comments how your thoughts have created reality. This is important. I want to hear your story. Maybe I can mention it in a future episode and go through some of the comments, but other people need to see this. I still meet people all the time that simply do not believe their thoughts have any creation of reality. And that is creative. When you say to yourself,
True.
My thoughts don't create reality, then you actually take away some of the really creative power of your thoughts.
So true. Like some guy came in here earlier and he's like, magic isn't real. Well, yeah, guess what? It's not going to be for you. Too bad, so sad.
Or it is or it isn't, and you just can't see it because you've closed your mind to it.
Yep.
So please put in the comments anything, any story that you have. Maybe something happened today of your thoughts creating reality. And I'm speaking to that person in the back of the room that doubts what I'm saying. And I'm saying, look, if you don't want to believe, that's fine. But if you choose to believe this, then you have the power to change your world. You have the power to do whatever you want. And this is an amazing power. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution.
You know, it's like, so we're done this video. I'm going to pull up the one that you sent me, Jennifer, but like, it's always the people that, like, you can always tell the people that come on to the channel on Tuesday nights to like poo what we're doing. It's like, they always have a bad attitude. And it's like, would you and I ever go into a Christian church and go, you know, Jesus wasn't the son of God, you idiots. And yeah, and if you think it is, you're stupid and deluded. It's like, it would never even occur to us to do that, because it's like, you do you, man. I don't really care.
Half the Bible is a bunch of letters called epistles that are written from one guy who had a certain skewed view of the world to a bunch of people who were scared. So there, it's not the word of God. I'm sorry. Do I have to do that? No, I would never do that.
No.
I'm gonna shit on their belief system.
No, but
lots of good wisdom in there.
But you can tell it's like people, they have like an innate need to do that because of how insecure they are with their own feelings, or because of how, I mean, you know, I'm sorry, but like unevolved they are, or any of these things. It's like
some are like troglodytes.
Yeah.
For sure. But honestly, that's all we ask, is for the same level of respect.
Yeah.
You know, this stuff is sacred to us. So let it be that it is. Why do you have to come be an asshole? Do you think Jesus would be like, yeah, go make fun of the pagans because I totally did that in my lifetime?
Yeah, like I had to explain that to the Groypers one time because I made a comment that they didn't like about Jesus. I don't even remember what it was exactly, but the Groypers were deeply. Oh, I said something about Christians being annoying, and I was like, I wasn't even talking about you Groypers. I was talking about the conservative Christians who are who annoy you just as much as they annoy it. But they got all pissed off and they got all ornery, and so I had to go on one of their shows, and he was like, Karlyn, this just our beliefs mean a lot to us, and I was like, that's fine. Your beliefs are allowed to mean a lot to you. My beliefs mean a lot to me too, bro.
Yeah.
Like I have traveled around the world studying with different teachers, learning about this stuff. Do you think your beliefs are any more sacred to you than my beliefs are to me?
They have a lot more power and money behind their beliefs, and for some reason that seems to make them feel like it's more valid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, well, we disproved that pagan, field forest person, one of the rednecks of the Middle Ages stuff. We just proved all of that. We believe this now. This is the evolved thing to think. No, and we actually have some really cool based Christians in this group.
Yeah,
and I love them.
No shade to we're not, but they know we're not talking about them. Is the thing. They know we're not talking about them.
That's why I'm feeling like I need to respect the noobs that might be like, well, but I'm a Christian. I'm not.
We don't care if you're Christian.
No, we don't. We do not. What we care about is if you come in here and you turn into an asshole, then we're going to care that you're a Christian misrepresenting your faith.
Exactly. If you're a Christian and you just want to learn about other perspectives, or maybe I actually don't think that manifesting is divorced from Christianity. I think it's just you can do it and be a Christian. God's not going to smite you or anything.
No. It's a state of being human, I think. Anyway, so this is in case you guys aren't familiar with the double. Uh-oh, did you lose it?
What happened?
You scrolled.
Is it?
No.
We lost it. I lost it. Oh, there it is. It's over. We're back.
This is the double. You're going to have to wait till you have to rewind it if you can. This is the double slit test, which is basically where they were trying to find the behavior of photons. And they noticed that if they looked at it, or if the scientists physically looked at it, or if they put a mechanical device, didn't matter. It changed the behavior of the photons, and nobody can explain this. So I don't know if you have to let it play through or if you can
with each other to create the pattern on the second. When a laser emits beams of light particles called photons at a screen with two slits, you'd expect to see two strips to correspond with the two slits. Instead, we see a pattern of light and dark bands. This suggests that light behaves like waves that pass through both slits simultaneously, interfering with each other to create the pattern on the second screen. However, when scientists used a measuring device to observe the slit that each photon passed through, the interference pattern disappeared, and two strips appeared. The act of observing which slit it went through changed the behavior of the photons. No one knows why observing a particle causes its behavior to change.
That's crazy. All right, we got one more video to watch, and this is called How to Create Your Reality. Not to be confused with Your Thoughts Create Reality, but now we're getting into a how-to video.
Yeah, and this is the same guy, Brian Scott, and it's now giving you the step-by-step on how to do that. And just like the photons, you're focusing on the photons changes their pattern. Keep in mind, everything around us is photons.
Mm-hmm.
There's light everywhere. We are affecting everything just by being here.
Cool. Let's dig in.
I didn't really have an episode that's just dedicated to how to create your reality, written by me, that sort of takes all the teachings that we've had and puts them together. I would first check out my episode, Your Thoughts Create Reality, so that you can at least have a base established that proves or confirms the idea that your thoughts create reality. I do not want to spend a bunch of time in this episode explaining that thoughts create reality. We know that thoughts create reality. Taking that as a given, let me give you the steps and techniques and ways for you to create your reality. After you watch this episode, the thin veil between your thought and reality will dissolve, and your deepest yearnings will crystallize before your very eyes, and the universe will intricately mold itself to the whispers of your heart's intent. This is not just any other episode. Consider this to be a gateway to a new existence for you, where the unthinkable becomes achievable and the figments of your imagination will solidify. This is an invitation for you to interact with the quantum threads of existence, to reshape the melody of your life's narrative at will. Here you're going to uncover the secrets of transforming ephemeral thoughts into palpable realities, where inner monologues become the incantations that summon your desires, where gratitude opens the floodgates to prosperity, and where the heart and mind converge in a harmonious act of creation. You'll navigate through the tempests of resistance, steering by the stars of your intentions and anchoring in the realms of your aspirations. But heed this warning. This exploration demands bravery to trust in the invisible, the resolve to redefine the contours of your life, and the insight to recognize yourself as the sculptor of your destiny. I'm not saying your road will be devoid of hurdles. I'm trying to equip you with the instruments to construct pathways over them, to transform barriers into gateways, and to perceive obstacles as chances to evolve. This is an enthralling experience. When you learn how to create your own reality, it changes everything. You learn that you are the main actor in your story, where you are both the creator and the protagonist, scripting epic tales of achievement, affection, vitality, and wealth. Are you prepared to unlock the power that lies within you, to shed the confines of doubt and ascend the true possibilities of your life? This is the art and science of shaping your existence. You might have seen the movie The Secret, and the thousands and thousands of videos that you can find on YouTube of people talking about how to create your reality. So I want to put all this in one place, because over time, over 2,000 episodes, we have evolved in learning different techniques that are very effective. I've coached a number of people, and in my own life, I've been able to create the reality that I dreamed of. The essence of creating a reality is not a secret kept in the shadows, but a truth as old as time, waiting to be rediscovered and wielded with intention and precision. You stand on the threshold of a new understanding, where the lines between the seen and the unseen start to blur, and where your inner world becomes the architect of your outer experience. You hold the pen that writes the chapters of your future. With each word I give you, you will begin to uncover the principles that allow you to align with the frequencies of abundance, well-being, and fulfillment. You'll learn how to clear the static of doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs, and turn into the clear signal of your true desires.
Love that.
What was that?
He says you'll be able to clear the static of doubt. I love that.
See, I still struggle with that, if I'm honest. Like, there are still times, like, and it's like, this is the human experience, right? Because I'm like, I fucking know manifesting is real. I know it's real. I know I can feel it in my body. Like, I know this stuff is real. And it's still, I'm like, this doesn't work. It's so stupid. Why do I even do this?
I'm no good at anything.
Everything sucks. And it's like, I've been doing this for years, and I've manifested so much shit. I've manifested good stuff and bad stuff, and it's like, even I'm still like, this is all bullshit.
I'm just gonna go get really high and watch Netflix. Fuck all this.
Well, unironically, I'm a better manifester when I'm high, like completely because you release resistance.
Yes, yeah.
And you're better able to visualize, I find, anyway.
Oh, you know what I just got? I just ordered. Well, I haven't gotten them yet. I ordered some buzz drops.
Really?
Yeah, I've been looking for an alcohol alternative because I love my wine a little too much, and I'm losing weight again, so I want to get off the booze. But I don't like smoking pot. I don't trust gummies or edibles. So I'm gonna try these they have a little THC and CBD oil in them, and I'm gonna try those. They're supposed to, you just put them in whatever non-alcoholic and you sip it like you would a glass of wine, and I'm hoping that'll, because who doesn't like to unwind at the end of the day? Am I right? So
I think that's gonna be great. It'll be like, you'll have to report back to us and let us know how it went. Why don't you try edibles?
Any edibles I've tried have gotten me so, because I don't do a lot. I haven't smoked pot in ages. I do have some, but I don't hardly ever use it. It took me for a loop. I was so high, and it took me hours to come down.
I agree with that. I agree with that. They're like, I don't use edibles like all that often, but like when I do, it's like I get the ones that are supposed to be like, okay, you're going to be able to focus throughout your day. And I'm like, okay, I've got a whole day free. I'm going to bang out a fuck ton of writing. I'm going to take this edible. I'm going to bang out I'm going to get in a zone. And it's like, sometimes it's perfect and it works out beautifully. And sometimes I get so fucking high that I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. Yeah. I had a friend of mine brought me some, and I was cleaning my house. And she's like, just eat, there's like a little cheesecake or something. And she was like, just eat a quarter of this. She gave me like a quarter of a cheesecake. She said, eat a quarter of the quarter. So I did that. And I was so high. I was just like, oh, and it was like the just lay on and drool on yourself kind of high. It was not a, I feel so energized. I'm going to finish cleaning my house. I'm stoned. I'm rocking out to music. No, it was not. I was just so stoned, and I'm like, okay, I'm done now. I'm ready to not be high anymore, and it just would not let me go.
It doesn't go. It's like,
no, this is not okay.
But sometimes it works out really well. I feel like now that it's like, it's regulated if you're buying it legally, it's kind of like, I feel a little bit, it's more kind of consistent now, but there are still some times when I'm like, and usually it has to do with like, I've kept the edibles around for a while and maybe I should have had them sooner. And so maybe one time I had these like chocolate cheesecake bites that I left them like right behind my laptop where it gets really hot, and like they melted together. And I was like, I'm like, this will probably be fine. It was not fine, Jennifer. It was not fine.
Is that okay? I've heard about kava, Chris. I don't know anything about it. I've heard a lot about that. These drops are 2.5 milligrams per dropper, and you just start with that. And that sounds nice and low and safe to Jennifer, because I'm like, I understand the alcohol buzz. I know where to stop, but like with pot, and then the munchies kick in. Oh my hell. So I'll report back Wednesday. I don't know how long they're going to take to arrive. I ordered them yesterday, so we'll see. But I'm interested.
The fabric of reality. At the heart of your experience lies a profound and often overlooked truth. Reality is not a rigid, unchanging structure. It is fluid, shaped and reshaped by the currents of your perceptions, beliefs, and thoughts. So let's explore the malleable nature of reality and how your inner world molds your outer experiences, drawing on the insights of quantum field theory and the transformative power of your subconscious mind. Consider for a moment the idea that what we perceive as solid, unchangeable reality is in fact a canvas upon which our thoughts and beliefs paint the scenery. This is not mere metaphor, but a reflection of a deeper truth about the nature of existence. Every moment, every experience is a manifestation of a collective and individual consciousness, a symphony of thought energy taking form. Quantum field theory offers a glimpse into the scientific underpinnings of how thoughts influence reality. At the quantum level, particles do not have fixed states until they are observed. This fundamental aspect of quantum mechanics suggests that at a very basic level, the act of observation, and by extension, the observer's expectations, thoughts, and beliefs can influence the outcome of physical events. This interplay between consciousness and the physical world invites us to reconsider our role in shaping our reality. It implies that our perceptions and beliefs are not merely reactions to the world around us, but are active contributors to its creation. The implications are profound. By changing our internal state, we can alter our external world. The teachings of Neville Goddard and Joseph Murphy offer invaluable insights into harnessing this potential. Goddard's law of assumption posits that assuming the feeling of your wish as fulfilled already sets into motion the events necessary for its materialization.
Yo, that's key.
Murphy, on the other hand,
you have to feel as though you already have what you want. Like, how would you feel if you already had the new job, or you already had the car, or like whatever it is? Like, because that's what puts you in the state of receiving, because you're more aligned with that thing rather than I want this, I want this, I want this. You're not aligned with that thing when you're doing that.
Well, and constantly I want it puts you not in a state of I have it.
Yeah.
And when you imagine it, it's like you have it. And it's some people aren't great at imagining things like that. Some people aren't good at envisioning things. And that's why like vision boards and stuff like that are super important. I wonder if I've got mine in here. I had a whole book I did. I gotta think where I put that. It might be downstairs. I don't know. I'm gonna poke around, see if I can find mine, because you might recognize a couple things in there. And I did it ages ago.
Huh.
I'll have to find it though. Hang on.
I do think it's something that, like, if you're not good at it, because like I had to learn how to meditate, I had to learn how to calm my mind. I had to I suck at I don't think I'm actually naturally good at imagining things. I think or maybe I think I'm a naturally pretty creative person, but like I've gotten a lot better at it by virtue of practicing. And so it's like,
oh yeah,
you don't have to be like naturally good at this stuff. You can teach yourself how to do it by virtue of like just forcing yourself to do it, and then it gets easier. Like it's like anything else, like riding a bike.
True. You gotta learn everything from scratch. Well, have you heard about people who like can't, when you read a book, you see it like a movie in your head, and then there's people who don't see anything?
I don't see anything when I do that.
You don't see anything when you read a book?
No, I do not get visual images in my head. No.
Wow. I do. I have the whole movie in my head. Okay. But you can still imagine things though.
There's sometimes that I like, so when I'm writing a book, I can imagine it. Like when I was writing like the Communist Manifesto fairy tale, I can see that in my head. Now it's a very abstract version. It's not like a human thing. It's like I see like an animation like that's like out of like, doodles and stuff like that in my head, but I can see that in my head. But like if I'm reading someone else's stuff, I have a hard time imagining. Honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Do I dream? I don't actually. I don't remember my dreams. For like almost never remember my dreams.
You started to more and more though now. I think you were mentioning.
I did. Well, and I said that because Tommy asked in the chat, "Do I dream?"
Yeah.
And I've started to remember. Ever since I blew open my third eye and by activating the Kundalini, I've been remembering more of my dreams, and I don't like it. And I want it because I'm getting all sorts of information that I really shouldn't effing have, and it makes me uncomfortable sometimes.
Hey, universe, stop telling Karlyn all the things.
Yeah, stop giving me all the things.
Be specific for her. Don't show her all the things.
It's not fair.
I'm gonna see if I can find that manifestation book. It might be up here somewhere.
Emphasizes the subconscious mind's role in shaping our reality. He suggests that by impressing our subconscious with our desires through repetition and emotional engagement, we can create a blueprint for our reality to follow. Both teachings highlight the incredible power of the mind to influence reality. The subconscious mind operates beyond the constraints of logic and time, working tirelessly to align our external circumstances with our internal states. By understanding and applying these principles, we can begin to consciously influence the fabric of our reality. To apply these concepts, start by observing your thoughts and beliefs. This is the most important step. Notice how they correlate with your experiences. Experiment with intentionally shifting your thoughts towards the outcomes you desire. Practice assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Neville Goddard taught the feeling as being the key aspect, not as a distant dream, but as your present reality. Impress upon your subconscious the vision of your life as you wish it to be through visualization, affirmations, and emotional engagement. This is a moment-by-moment process, breath by breath, second by second. By understanding the malleable nature of existence and the role of your thoughts and beliefs in shaping it, you can open yourself to the limitless possibilities of what you can create. The fabric of reality is woven from the threads of your perceptions, beliefs, and thoughts. And by mastering these elements, you have begun the first step into creating your reality. power of belief. The landscape of your reality is sculpted by the beliefs you hold, serving as the foundation upon which your experiences are built. Beliefs are not just passive notions that reside in the back of your mind. They are active forces shaping your perceptions, reactions, and the very essence of your being. Joseph Murphy's exploration of the subconscious mind provides a pivotal framework for understanding how deeply ingrained beliefs influence your reality. The subconscious mind is likened to a vast fertile garden where the beliefs you plant determine the nature of the crop you harvest. Just as a garden requires attention and care to yield desirable produce, your subconscious mind needs nurturing with positive, empowering beliefs to create a reality that reflects your true desires and aspirations. The first step in transforming your reality is to identify the limiting beliefs that have taken root in your subconscious.
Okay,
These
you ready?
beliefs may have been sown in childhood.
Hang on, go ahead.
Okay. I never finished it. There's still pages that are undone, but I started with.
What is that?
So this page is dedicated to the law of attraction, just positive orientation, emotional guidance system, choose your thoughts, focus on your thoughts. I found a bunch of like cards and just sayings that I put in there. Let me try and back off a little there.
Here, I can do this. How about this? There we go. That's better.
So, and then,
cool.
So I had some that I haven't finished, but they're themed. So like this, the theme over here, this one is visualize. This one is love life. So just being grateful in general. But I'll show you one that's finished. I had so many ideas. I take on these big projects and then it's like, this is a money manifestation one.
Oh, there you go.
So you know those little puffy stickers?
Yeah.
For people who do scrapbooking, that's what I used in these. There's a lot of little puffy stickers and really cute things.
So like you would go to Hobby Lobby and just get all the stickers?
Yeah, that's what I did. And then, well, it's actually a stationery shop. I was trying to attract my husband.
Aw.
There's all, what does it say in here? Sheer bliss, romance, kindred spirit, husband and wife. So I just kind of went for it. There's my partner page. And then there's a couple others that I want to show you. This one is being an artist, keeping creativity in mind. Oops, hang on, let me back that up.
I love that one. I love that one. I like the little painting.
Yep. Notice there are no books. I never thought I was going to be a writer. But it was to remind me that I'm an artist first. That's how I started. And then there's one more. This is when I was manifesting my home. I actually had a real estate listing in there.
Wow.
Our new home. And then in my garden, I always wanted to have a garden.
That's so cool.
Isn't that fun?
You really worked on that, Jennifer, man.
Oh, yeah. And I just like to look through it. Oh, I got one for travel.
Cruise boat. Cruise boat.
Yep. But I just wanted to do, focusing on doing something like this. And I'm not a big, vision board person, but because I didn't want to have this, I didn't want to take up the wall space, to be honest.
Yo, Beth! I was thinking about, hang on, the return of Beth. Oh my God. Beth, I was thinking about you last week. I was like, where the fuck is Beth? Is Beth still alive? What an unexpected surprise, Beth. Queen Beth is back. Wow.
Queen Beth.
Crazy.
Yay!
Sorry to interrupt, Jennifer. I was just shocked to see Beth in the chat. I was like, I manifested Beth. I was thinking about Beth last week.
Nice. Awesome. So yeah, I didn't want a vision board to take up my wall space, because I lived in a small condo at the time. So I did it like scrapbook style. It's just some pretty little, it's probably some bridal scrapbook or some shit. I don't know, whatever catches your fancy. And I just threw things in on each page. And I like to just flip through it. And every now and then I'd work on a page. And so, yes, Beth.
Beth is back. She made
Beth
it.
and I chat occasionally.
Because I actually do worry about some people, the older members of my community who I know, and Beth has had some health scares in the recent times, but there are people in my community that are older, and then all of a sudden they just don't show up anymore, and I'm like, are they dead?
Yeah, where that happened?
What happened? So it's like, it's it's a weird thing, but I'm glad that Beth is still with us. Excellent. Beth, we're gonna teach you the devil's tools now with manifesting, and it's gonna be great, and you're gonna love it.
Beth is one of the good Christians that we love.
Yeah.
Childhood, through societal conditioning or past experiences, and they act as barriers to your growth and fulfillment. To identify these beliefs, you must become an observer of your thoughts, emotions, and reactions, tracing them back to the underlying assumptions about yourself and the world around you. So begin by reflective journaling. Engage in reflective journaling and asking yourself probing questions about your fears, doubts, and the areas of your life where you feel stuck. Look for the pattern that suggests underlying beliefs. Why am I fearful about this? Why am I acting in this way? By asking questions and then simply journaling about it, you begin the process of beginning to understand where your beliefs lie. The truth is, you may not even know what you truly believe. The second step is to practice meditation and mindfulness to become aware of your thought patterns and emotional response. Yes, you can do and use meditation to create your reality, but before you do that, this step is important. You must create a heightened awareness that will reveal your beliefs that shape these internal experiences. Once you've identified your limiting beliefs, the work of transformation begins. Changing deeply ingrained beliefs requires intention, persistence, and a variety of strategies tailored to reprogram the subconscious mind.
Hang on a second on
First
that
of
one
all,
too.
you can use affirmation.
Here you go.
So did he define what limiting beliefs were? I got distracted.
I don't think he didn't do it well. I don't think.
So if people go, well, he says you have to find your limiting beliefs, and this is true, and people go, oh great, what are they? Well, what do you want to do? Well, I want to start a coffee house. I want to start my own coffee shop, internet cafe. Okay, what's stopping you? Well, I don't have enough money. Limiting belief number 1, I don't have enough money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not sure if I'll have time. Limiting belief number 2, I don't have time. Same thing with like writing books. So I would love to write a book, but I don't know how to get it published. Limiting belief number 1, I don't know enough. Well, I would love to write a book, but I don't have time. It's always, I don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'd love to write a book, but I don't
we have jobs. Conservatives have jobs. They're the only people with jobs. Sorry.
People have families, all kinds of things. Limiting belief number 3 is, no one will like it. That's low self-esteem. So you have to start then peeling back these beliefs. Just start with one. Don't attack them all at once. Don't overwhelm yourself. Bit by bit, pick one. Well, I don't have time. If you don't have time, but you have time for this, this thing that you do all the time that you're with, like I said, oh my God, I could binge YouTube all freaking day. It's bad. So I have to go, that needs to stop. And now look at all the time I have.
Yeah.
Or, just set an hour aside while you're having your coffee. Instead of reading news that pisses you off, write 500 words, write 1,000 words, that kind of thing. So you have to find, the thing with limiting beliefs is if you give in to them, then you are not interested in attaining your goal or solving your problems.
Yeah. We focus on what the priorities are in our life. And sometimes I focus a little bit too much on Twitter. And sometimes I focus too much on playing a racing video game on my phone that I would literally play all day if I had my way about it.
I have a cooking game like that I love.
Yeah, I've done the cooking game thing too. I was addicted to the cooking games I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's just like the struggle is real, but sometimes you need to be an adult and say, I really don't need to play anymore right now, and just do what you want and focus on what you actually want. And if you aren't willing to do that, maybe you're just not ready for it yet. Yeah, that's okay. You don't have to be ready for it right now. It'll be there. It'll be fine.
Maybe you want to do it, or you think you want to do it because you admire people who do. That doesn't mean it's meant for you. Find something you love. Well, I'd love to write a book, but what is it that you're good at that you can lend to the world? Well, I love to go buy blank pieces of pottery and paint them. That one lady did you ever see the chick that does the rocks with the dot mandalas? Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. It's like the coolest thing ever. I went and bought a whole kit of those little paint knobby things so I could paint rocks. I still haven't done it, but I have all the things. I'm a craft hoarder. It's a problem, but
struggle is real.
Yeah.
Hobby Lobby is a thing.
Oh my God.
Constructing positive affirmations that directly counteract your limiting beliefs. Repeat these affirmations daily, ideally during moments of quiet reflection or meditation, to embed them in your subconscious. I like to use them in the morning and at night before I go to bed, maybe in the middle of the day. After using affirmations, you want to employ visualization techniques to imagine yourself living the reality that your new empowering beliefs support. Visualization engages the subconscious mind by creating vivid emotional experiences that reinforce your desired beliefs. The construction of new empowering beliefs is an act of creation. It involves deliberately choosing beliefs that align with your goals and desires, then embedding these beliefs into your subconscious mind to influence your reality positively. Neville Goddard liked to refer to all of us as gods, with the power of God, except one limitation. That is our belief.
That also might be why Christians get a little twitchy.
So you understand.
Yeah, Christians really don't like it when I say we are the gods of our own experience. They really dislike. They like, there is one God. I'm like, well, we see the world differently. Jesus might see you differently than you see yourselves, Christians. I'm just saying, Jesus is a highly evolved being. He might see you a little bit differently than you see yourselves.
He did say you are all sons of God, that we're all the children of God. So that means we all have God in us, in my mind.
Mm-hmm. The real mind fuck comes, Christians, when you realize that you can do every single thing that Jesus did if you believe that you can. That's the real one.
It's true.
Work on that.
Yeah.
What you believe, and then you go about the process of changing it. Then, how do you build new empowering beliefs after you've done this? You can begin by scripting your beliefs. Check out my episode on scripting to create your reality. Write down your new beliefs in a detailed, affirmative manner. The new beliefs that you want to take on. Maybe you don't necessarily believe that you're successful or that you're prosperous, so you write them down in a detailed, affirmative manner. Describe how these beliefs influence your behavior, emotions, and the world around you. This exercise makes your new beliefs tangible and actionable. If you have the thought that you can't change your beliefs, just look around the world. People's beliefs are being changed all the time.
True.
The next step is to gather evidence. Actively seek out and document evidence that supports your new beliefs. The mind is amazing, and it will find what you look for. This practice will reinforce the validity of your beliefs and gradually shift your perceptions to align with your desired reality. There are some exercises for building empowering beliefs. First, try a belief assessment exercise. Make a list of your core beliefs about yourself, others, and the world. And next to each belief, write down how it has shaped your experiences. Evaluate which beliefs serve you and which do not.
I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, I believe I'm surrounded by retards almost all the time, and how does that shape my reality? and thus I attract them to my stream to come into my chat.
You're like, I've been bored today. Let me see. Who can I argue with? I'm always surrounded by retards. Come on in.
Yep. Make a line. I will yell at all of you in turn. It's fine.
Oh my God.
Secondly, the belief bridge technique. For each limiting belief, create a bridge belief that is more positive and feels attainable. For example, if your limiting belief is, I'm not good enough to succeed, a bridge belief might be, I'm open to seeing my inherent value and potential. Use these bridge beliefs as stepping stones to more empowering beliefs. And third, daily belief integration. Choose one empowering belief to focus on each day. And throughout the day, ask yourself how someone with that belief would act, think, and feel, and align your actions and your mindset with this belief to integrate it into your reality.
So that's an important
I'm
point.
dedicating the beginning of this to beliefs because...
Go ahead. What was that?
The bridge beliefs. That's a really important point because we want to jump right into the ding, 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 do these three things. And he's saying, first, identify your limiting beliefs. Then you can use a bridge belief, which doesn't mean like, let's say I want to lose 50 pounds and I can say, okay, well, I've lost 50 pounds. And then, but inherently that's not true. So you can't just suddenly believe it. But you can say, I'm open to losing 50 pounds. Hang on a second. I got a doggy. I got a doggy here.
Uh-oh. Here she is.
Hi, baby.
The calm one.
Yeah, she's the sweetie. Well, they're both sweeties in different ways.
Says, hello, time for attention. Has no idea she's on the internet.
No idea. There's all these people watching you, Anya. So, but yeah, just are you open to losing 50 pounds? Or are you open to publishing a book? Are you open to, starting your singing career or selling things on Etsy or whatever it is that you're saying you can't do? Are you open to it? And if the answer is yes, then you can start the work.
Mm-hmm.
That is all.
As I've taught reality creation for a long time, I have found that the beliefs that you have are absolutely key. And by consciously cultivating a garden of empowering beliefs, you will open yourself to a reality that reflects your highest potential. The power of belief is the key to unlocking a life of abundance, growth, and fulfillment. The art of assuming. At the heart of transforming your reality lies a powerful, yet often overlooked principle, the art of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This principle, championed by Neville Goddard, teaches us that to manifest your desire, you must first inhabit the emotional state and conviction that your desires have already been realized. It's not merely about wanting or hoping. It's about embodying the certainty and feeling of the desired outcome as a present reality, not something in the future. To live in the end means to operate from a state of being, where your desire is not a distant dream, but a present fact of your life. This involves a shift from longing to being, from desiring to having. It's a mental and emotional alignment with your desired reality, where you assume the feelings and attitudes of one who has already achieved your goal. Begin by creating a vivid mental scene. Identify a scene that implies the fulfillment of your desire. This scene should be brief, specific, and charged with emotional significance. It might be a moment of celebration, a conversation indicating success, or a simple action that signifies the achievement of your goal. For instance, if you wanted to win a gold medal in the Olympics, you might imagine yourself biting down on that gold medal or standing up and celebrating your victory. Then, the next step is emotional saturation. You immerse yourself in this mental scene until it feels so vivid and real. The goal is to saturate your consciousness with the emotions and sensory experiences of this reality, such as joy, gratitude, or peace. Many people struggle with this because they have not actually inhabited that reality. So your mind must go through a process of imagining and making believe. You can ask yourself the question, how would I feel if? By beginning that process, you can do this. For many, it takes time, but continue to work on immersing yourself in the mental scene until it feels so vivid and real that you cannot distinguish it from reality. You should enjoy this process. It's daydreaming, amplified and magnified. Emotional resonance is the vibrational match between your emotional state and the frequency of your desired reality. It acts as a magnetic force, attracting experiences that resonate with your inner state. And to manifest your desires, to create your reality, your emotions must align with the feeling of already having or being what you wish for. The feeling is the secret. Embody the feeling of your wish fulfilled throughout your day, not just during moments of visualization or for a brief 10-minute meditation. To truly create your reality, this is a continuous process. Continuous emotional alignment signals to the universe that you are ready to receive your desire. Then, you must cultivate a positive emotional state. You can do this by practicing gratitude, love, and appreciation daily. These are the emotions that you would feel if your wish was fulfilled. These emotions have high vibrational frequencies that enhance your manifestation abilities. Always be in a state of gratitude, love, and appreciation. Imagination is the canvas upon which you paint your desired reality, and visualization is the brush you use to bring these visions to life. And through imaginative practice, you create a blueprint of your desired reality, which the subconscious mind works to realize in the physical world. Regular visualization practice is key. Dedicate time each day to visualize your desired outcome using the scene you've constructed. The more regularly you practice, the more real and attainable your desire feels. Generally, I have people that will go into the comments and say that I'm incapable of visualizing. First of all, remove that belief. I've had people that said they have never been able to visualize that have been able to visualize, but try some alternative. Painting a picture, writing it out in a script, finding a way to imagine the scene in some way, shape, and form. There may be an alternative way for you to visualize. Do not abandon the idea that you can visualize. Then next, you want to have sensory richness. Incorporate all 5 senses into your visualization. This is important. Oftentimes people will only see what they're trying to visualize, but each of these senses are gates that expand on your power and ability, and also directly affect the subconscious in the ways that you need for the reality to be created. What do you see, hear, feel, taste, and smell in your realized desire? The more detailed and sensory rich your visualization, the more powerful its impact on your subconscious mind. To weave the art of assuming into the fabric of your daily life, it's essential to maintain a consistent practice of living in the end, emotional resonance, and imaginative visualization. Here are practical steps to integrate this art into your everyday experience.
Hang on. Have you ever done a deep dive into Native European or Native American beliefs, pre-Christian religions? No, I mean, we haven't done that, but maybe we will. Maybe we will sometime, Jennifer. Uh-oh, dog's back.
She's telling me it's time to eat.
Uh-oh.
Time to eat. Time to eat. Oh my goodness. No, we haven't, but that would be really cool. But which one? I mean, they're not all the same.
Yeah, do you have a special request?
Yeah, and we can look into maybe, I mean, the Plains Indians I'm very familiar with out here. I know a lot of stuff about them, but there's also the Eastern, there's what was the other thing I was thinking of? We could go into shamanism maybe.
Oh yeah, we should definitely shamanism. We should absolutely do that. All right.
I better feed her real quick.
Do it.
1. Morning intention setting. Start each day by setting an intention to embody the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Visualize your desired scene and immerse yourself in its emotional state. Secondly, emotional alignment checks. Throughout the day, periodically check in with your emotional state. Are you maintaining the feeling of your wish fulfilled? Use breath work or quick visualizations to realign if necessary. And third, evening reflection. Reflect on your day. Focus on the moments where you successfully maintained your desired emotional state. This is an ongoing process. You have to continue to do it. Visualize your desired scene again before sleep to reinforce it in your subconscious. By mastering the art of assuming, you harness the creative power of your emotions and imagination to manifest the reality that you desire. This practice transforms the abstract into the tangible, guiding the unseen forces of the universe to shape your world according to your deepest aspirations. Reality transurfing. Reality transurfing, a powerful conceptual framework for understanding and navigating the complexities of creating your reality, offers a unique perspective on the mechanics of manifestation. It transcends traditional manifestation concepts that we've discussed so far and introduces a set of principles that empower individuals to consciously choose their paths in life. I want to discuss the core principles of transurfing to elucidate how you can apply them to manifest your desired reality by aligning with the optimal life tracks available in the space of variations. Reality transurfing is based on the premise that reality is multi-layered, consisting of an infinite number of possibilities or variations. This multitude of potential realities exists within a quantum field known as the space of variations.
Multitude of realities.
Oh no!
How would that be possible, Jettifier? How might that be? How might it be possible for there to be multiple different realities happening all at one time?
Different timelines.
maybe time isn't real and everything that ever has happened or will happen is happening right now.
I'm doing DISENRAGE bingo. That is it. It is happening.
Time isn't real. That's why.
Uh-huh.
According to transurfing, our consciousness interacts with this field, selecting the reality we experience through our thoughts, emotions, and intentions. This perspective shifts the focus from trying to change the external world to choosing our path within it. The key concepts of reality transurfing are, first, the space of variations. This is the quantum field that contains all possible outcomes, events, and paths that one's life can take. It's a vast information space of potential realities where every possible variation of your life already exists. Secondly is pendulums. These are energetic structures formed by the collective thoughts and emotions of individuals. If everybody is creating their reality and everybody's thoughts are influencing reality, what happens when groups of people, collective thoughts start to create reality?
Yes,
that's when you get pendulums, and they can sway people's thoughts and emotions, and they are swaying your thoughts and emotions, trapping you in an unwanted reality.
Exactly.
Recognizing and detaching from these outside forces, these pendulums, is crucial for maintaining control over your personal reality.
Yo, so real.
And the third concept is energy levels. Your personal energy level determines your ability to navigate the space of variations. Higher energy levels enhance your capacity to choose and stabilize the desired reality. Managing your energy wisely is the key to successful transurfing. Reality transurfing offers strategic approaches to consciously choose and navigate toward your preferred life tracks within the space of variations. First of all, reducing importance. One of the central tenets of transurfing is the reduction of excessive importance placed on goals, outcomes, or challenges. By neutralizing the energy of importance, you avoid creating excess potential that can lead you away from your desired reality. If you want to exist within a certain reality and you put a lot of importance into it, you will never get the change in reality that you desire. By reducing the importance, you take away thoughts of want and desire that always...
Actually, like, unironically, yes. Yeah, unironically, like, I don't want to be surrounded by retards on the internet. And so I remove them just surgically, like, nope, you can go back over here now. No,
ban. End your band. End your band.
With love, but no.
Push the reality away from
our consciousness.
What's that?
If only we could ban people from our consciousness.
Yo, that's real. But I do find that, like, you know, I kind of feel like if I can't ban someone from my consciousness, there's a reason for it. I'm supposed to, like, there's going to be some reconnection that's going to happen at some point, because, like, when I'm truly done with someone, like, I'm done. I am done. If the door comes down, I'm like, nope, go away. I don't want you around anymore. No.
The second strategy for navigating reality through transurfing is sliding to the desired reality. This involves shifting your focus and energy towards the reality you wish to inhabit by visualizing and embodying the emotions and state of being associated with that reality. This shift enables you to slide into the desired life track within the space of variations The third strategy is energy management. Cultivating and preserving your energy is essential for effective transurfing.
True.
Practices such as meditation, mindfulness, and pursuing activities that align with your heart's desire help maintain high energy levels, facilitating easier navigation through the space of variations. Things like pendulums can affect your energy and take it away from you. So when you understand your energy, you become emboldened and empowered to create your reality very efficiently. There are practical applications to the transurfing teachings. To apply these principles, consider the following practical steps. First, awareness of pendulums. Become aware of the pendulums that influence your thoughts and emotions. Things like corporations and political parties, mass media, events that happen, anything that's incorporating a large group of people and their thoughts will begin to affect your reality. And by detaching and refusing to give your energy to these pendulums, you gain the freedom to choose your reality. And secondly, balancing importance. Identify areas of your life where you've assigned excessive importance. Work on balancing this by seeing your goals and challenges from a perspective of calm detachment, reducing the emotional charge and potential obstacles. And third, the visualization and slide technique. Regularly practice visualizing your desired reality as a vivid scene, including the emotions and sensations associated with it. As I mentioned earlier, this creates a slide that helps you align with the corresponding life track in the space of variations. By integrating transurfing principles into your approach to manifesting your reality, you unlock a powerful method for navigating the myriad possibilities of life, guiding you toward your desired reality with precision and ease. And I mentioned transurfing in my episode on how to create your reality because it was a very profound realization for me that allowed me to create my reality. Understanding the concepts of the law of assumption and the subconscious mind were important, but understanding reality transurfing helped me take it to the next level. Transurfing is like a software that you can use that allows you to effectively create your reality and avoid the obstacles that people normally encounter along the way. Emotional guidance system. Our emotions serve as a sophisticated guidance system, offering real-time feedback about our alignment with our desired reality or the presence of resistance. Emotions are much more than reactions to external stimuli. They are indicators of your vibrational alignment with the universe. Positive emotions such as joy and love and gratitude signal alignment with your desires, showing that your thoughts and beliefs are in harmony with your goals. Conversely, negative emotions like fear, doubt, and anger indicate resistance, highlighting areas where your thoughts and beliefs may be misaligned with your aspirations. Elevating your emotional state is essential for aligning with your desired reality. There's many techniques that you can use to shift your emotions towards a more positive spectrum. Use mindful breathing exercises to center yourself and calm emotional turbulence. Regular meditation combined with visualization of your desired outcomes will significantly improve your emotional well-being. Engage in activities that naturally elevate your mood, such as exercise, spending time in nature, or practicing a hobby. These activities can provide a quick, effective emotional boost. The idea that feeling is the secret to manifestation emphasizes the importance of not just thinking about your desires, but...
Go ahead.
I just kind of wanted to give us a moment to absorb what we're hearing also. So it's good to have just a little breather. But this is a reason why I started, I planted my seeds this year. I grew my seeds. I planted my garden, my little veggie patch, such as it is. Probably the last year I'll do it here anyway. But I'm making myself do it. Do I have time for this? Oh God, no. I'm grateful it rained today because I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to get out there to water that garden. But it's forcing me to go out there and touch dirt.
Mm-hmm.
It's forcing me to smell earth. It's forcing me to look at my view, to look at my yard, to watch my puppies play, to yell at my dogs when they try to jump the fence into the garden to play with the bugs. I actually held a wild jumper spider in my hand the other day.
Yo, fuck that shit, Jennifer. What's wrong with you?
I'm I like low key arachnophobia. It used to be high key now, and I've been working on it to overcome it. And I'm desensitizing myself. I learned all the different kinds of breeds of spiders that are around my house so that I can identify them. And once they have a name, they have less power. Why? Okay, I'll tell you why. So my mom and I we're turning the soil and pulling weeds and getting the soil ready to put the plants in. And she dug up this big, beautiful black jumper about the size of my thumbnail. It was a big fuzzy with beautiful green eyes, like little sparkling emerald eyes. And I've been watching this gal on YouTube streams who raises and keeps them as pets. And they're just so cute. And they don't skitter. They're very calm. They're very sweet. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to try. This is how you get out of ruts, people. It's how you overcome fear. So we couldn't get it on a shovel because it kept jumping away. And then it jumped into the garbage bag. And I'm like, oh, honey, that won't do. So I put my hand on, a glove on, but I had put my hand down, and it went ba-doop, right as if it knew this is safe. And it just stood there, and it pivoted, and it looked me right in the face. And I said, it's okay, honey, you stay right where you are. Nice and calm. And I'm talking to it all the way to the edge of my garden, and I put it near a shrub where it would be safe. And I'm like, right here's baby. And I just I bumped my hand a little, and it went boop, and it jumped down. And you know that spider, I see it almost every day. It comes and visits me.
Huh.
It is the coolest thing. I see it all the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's there. And you know what? When you connect with nature, I wouldn't pick up a grass spider because they skitter and they scare the fuck out of me. But the big fuzzy jumpers are so cool. They're very tame.
Okay. You can make friends with the spider, Jennifer. I'm not going to make friends with the spider. I'm
going to big deal for me, Karlyn. It took me years to get over this. I've been praying to Arachnia for decades.
Wow.
Feeling them as if they are already your reality. This principle suggests that the emotional energy you emit is what attracts corresponding experiences into your life. Thus, embodying the feelings associated with your desires is key to bringing them to fruition. Cultivate the emotions you would feel if your desires were already manifested. If you seek abundance, feel abundant. If you desire love, feel love for yourself and others. This alignment attracts experiences that resonate with those feelings. It works every time, and it's working with your heart. And it's why it can be difficult to manifest, because for many of us, emotions are hard to understand. Gratitude can powerfully elevate your emotional state if you are struggling with changing your emotions. Regularly express gratitude for what you have, as well as for the fulfillment of your desires in advance. It's helpful to conduct daily emotional check-ins to assess your emotional state and identify negative emotions that might be pulling you away from what you're trying to manifest. Creating coherence between heart and mind. The alignment of heart and mind is a pivotal aspect of reality creation and offers a pathway to a more integrated and powerful approach to creating your desired reality. By achieving a state of coherence and harmony between your desires, which is your heart, and your beliefs, your mind, we unlock a potent force for attracting your goals. Through specific techniques and exercises, you can cultivate this vital alignment and enhance your ability to manifest your desires with greater ease and efficiency. Heart-brain coherence refers to a state where the psychological and physiological systems operate in harmony, driven by the synchronization between the heart's rhythmic patterns and the brain's neural networks. Research by institutions like the HeartMath Institute has demonstrated that achieving coherence can lead to improved emotional states, increased resilience, and enhanced cognitive functions. In the context of manifestation, coherence amplifies your capacity to align your feelings and thoughts with your intentions, thereby increasing the effectiveness of your manifestation efforts. Creating coherence between the heart and mind involves fostering a positive emotional state that aligns with your mental intentions. This alignment generates a unified field of energy that can significantly impact your ability to attract what you desire. There are techniques to facilitate this coherence. First, focused heart breathing. Concentrate on your heart area and imagine breathing through the heart. This practice helps to shift your focus and energy from the mind to the heart and promotes a state of calmness and balance. When it comes to heart coherence, I always recommend that you listen to Kyle Boyd and Leah Rush, who I interview on the channel, who are experts in heart coherence. Another technique that you can do with focused heart breathing is to combine it with cultivating genuine positive emotions such as love or appreciation or compassion. Focusing on these emotions can enhance the heart's coherence and its synchronization with the brain, creating a powerful state that is conducive to manifestation. Generally, we cannot manifest if it's just with our minds. The heart is where the energy and power comes. So if you really want that car and you're doing it from your mind, you're not able to manifest that car. But if you can find it in your heart to want that car. And transurfing describes the differences between heart and mind in that the heart doesn't know or care about numbers. So if you ask for 2,752,000, you're never going to be able to do that because you're only trying to manifest from the mind in that particular number. But if you understand the heart, which is aligned with feelings, which is why this is consistent with the feeling is the secret, and you know the feeling of that number, that is when you find that sweet spot in which reality creation occurs. So a heart-centered meditation exists like this. It's very easy. Find a quiet space, place your hand over your heart to help focus your attention on your heart area. Breathe slowly and deeply, imagining your breath flowing in and out of your heart. Slow down your breath, breathing in and out at the same amount of time, which balances your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And as you breathe, you generate feelings of gratitude, love, or joy. Imagine these emotions radiating from your heart and enveloping your entire being. You do this for 5 to 10 minutes, maintaining the focus on heart-generated positive emotions. Boom, it's that easy. Once you begin to integrate heart-brain coherence into your daily life, you will notice that you can transform your approach to reality creation. Your reality will be created faster and easier and more efficiently. By regularly engaging in these practices, you unlock a powerful synergy that can significantly accelerate the reality creation process.
There's the other dog. There he is.
They're such good
Overcoming
kids.
resistance and navigating challenges. Manifesting your desired reality often involves navigating through resistance and overcoming challenges that arise along the path. That's why I wanted to mention this briefly. Resistance can manifest in various forms, including fear and doubt, procrastination, and external obstacles. It often signals a misalignment between your desires and your current vibrational state or belief system. Recognizing resistance is a critical step towards overcoming it, allowing you to realign with your intentions. There are numerous strategies to overcome resistance. First of all, identify pendulums. Pendulums create resistance by pulling us into negative or unwanted energetic patterns. Recognizing when you're caught in a pendulum sway and consciously choose to detach from it. Next, you can reduce importance. The reduction in importance decreases the energy feeding the resistance, making it easier to navigate through the challenge. Additionally, energy redistribution. Shift your focus and energy away from resistance and towards actions and thoughts that align with your desired reality. This will help in breaking free from the grip of negative pendulums and reduce the impact of obstacles. There are a number of methods to deal with when you face a setback, which is part of the process. Change your perspective on setbacks, viewing them as opportunities for growth and learning. This shift in perspective can transform challenges into stepping stones toward your goals. Treat setbacks as working to your advantage. Sometimes things happen along the way that feel like you're moving backwards when actually you're moving forwards.
True.
My favorite example of this is that you get a flat tire on the way to work. This feels like you're encountering some sort of setback, but that flat tire allows you to meet someone at the store that allows you to achieve your goal, or saves you from a terrible accident that would have impeded your ability to achieve your reality.
Listen, there are
so
no
assume that
accidents.
everything is working to your advantage.
So true.
And then stay flexible. Being rigid in your approach will always amplify resistance. Stay open and flexible to alternative paths and solutions that arise, aligning more closely to the flow of life. Detachment and surrender are not about giving up on your desire, but about releasing the tight grip of control and allowing the universe to orchestrate the best outcome. Practical steps to create your reality. So if you're someone that wants to have the exact steps to create reality, then let's look at it this way. First, define your desire clearly. Start by clearly defining your desire. Be as specific as possible about what you want to manifest. The clearer your vision, the easier it is to focus your energy and intentions. You can write it down, document your desire. The second step is to cultivate the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Immerse yourself in the feeling of already having achieved your desire. The emotional alignment is crucial for manifestation. The third step is to reprogram your subconscious mind. Develop affirmations that support your desire. Repeat these affirmations daily to imprint your goal on your subconscious mind. The fourth step is to reduce the importance and detach from the outcome.
Oh, I fucking
Reduce
hate that.
the perceived
I
importance.
fucking hate that. I fucking hate this part where you're like, I already have the thing I want, and then you have to let it go. I'm like, but if I let it go, it won't happen. But that's the opposite of like, and I know that, but I'm
That's
just
so
like,
OCD.
whatever.
It's perfect though. No, I understand. I do it too. I'm not going to release
Importance
this.
of your desire to
Yep. Not
minimize
ready yet.
excess potential and resistance. Practice detachment by letting go of the need to control the outcome. Don't worry about how it's going to happen. Just let it happen. The fifth and final step is to simply navigate pendulums and maintain energy levels.
now hang on.
Recognize external influences that
Go ahead.
I'm wondering if, because he just said, don't worry about how it's going to happen. Just be comfortable knowing that it will. That doesn't mean let it go as if, okay, I don't have to think about it anymore. I don't have to manifest anymore. It's already here. La, la, la. You can still do the work and imagine the things, but don't worry about trying to control every aspect about how it comes into your life. Just know that it will. Focus on that goal. You don't have to forget the goal. Just don't, sit there and go, well, it has to happen this way, this way, this way. We have to go to these places to get this thing, or I won't get that thing, and I won't get that. And because we're just kind of experimenting with this now, my husband and I, because we may not be going to Tennessee. We may be going to a different state. And we are looking at other options because, believe it or not, and I know this is going to shock some people, California is now starting to invade Tennessee.
That's true. That's absolutely true because of Nashville.
Yeah. Nashville and Memphis.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The only place untouched right now is Knoxville. And guess what'll go next?
Yeah.
And so the prices, because of that, there's so many Coloradoans and so many Californians moving to Tennessee right now that housing prices are going way up. And so I looked at him, I said, we're not going to get what we want in this place. We may want to expand our horizons and look at some surrounding areas. And I found exactly what we love, very nearby, like an hour away to an hour and a half away, we could walk in and pay cash. For acreage, lots of bedrooms, completely remodeled chef kitchens. I was like, I never would think I'd have a house this nice. That kind of stuff. That's how good the prices are somewhere else.
There you go. You never know. You have to let go of things sometimes.
I know what I want. And we're actually thinking of, just when we pull up stakes here, just driving out there with our camper and going, might be this place, might be that place. We're gonna just feel it out when we get there. We're really trying to release the having to control the outcome thing right now.
That'll be an adventure.
I'll let you know if I'm still married at the end of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That try to sway your thoughts and emotions away from the reality that you want, then consciously choose to detach from these pendulums. So you can create a daily practice or ritual. Begin each day by setting an intention that aligns with your reality that you want to create. Cultivate gratitude for what you already have in the fulfillment of your desires, and then reflect in the evening. Visualize at least a little bit every day your reality that you want to create. By following these practical steps and incorporating daily practices and rituals into your routine, you create a fertile ground for your desires to manifest. Remember, the key to successful manifestation lies in the alignment of your thoughts, emotions, and actions, coupled with trust in the natural flow of the universe. Now, there are many examples of people that have manifested and created their reality. That's where the proof is in the pudding. You can find these examples in the many books that I've read to you. But just to give you a couple that come to mind, I knew someone that was paralyzed and was told they would never recover. And despite this, they held a deep desire to heal and live a vibrant, healthy life. They practice heart-brain coherence and maintain a state of positive expectation and well-being, raising their frequency and visualizing a healthy and active life, and employed affirmations to support their body's innate healing ability. A strong emotional connection to the desired outcome, consistent practice of visualizing and maintaining high energy levels began this healing process, and the result was that they were healed and were able to walk again. I knew a couple that dreamed of owning a home that seemed beyond their financial reach. They desired a space that felt like a true reflection of their personalities and aspirations. When they came to me, I admit even I had doubts that they would ever be able to live in the mansion that they had dreamed of. They created a detailed vision board that included images of their dream home, and they practiced gratitude for their current living situation, accepting where they were at now, while feeling the joy of living in their dream home, and detached from the how and when, trusting the universe to deliver. With clarity of vision, emotional investment in their desired outcome, and gratitude, they ended up in the exact home of their dreams. This is just a couple of examples. I myself overcame an incredible loss in my business and manifested an entirely different business. I have experienced reality shifts using the techniques that I'm talking about hundreds of times. And I always sort of don't like to give details about the stories of how I've been able to do it, because I don't want to take away the power of it. And there's some part of me that says, if I tell someone about how this happened, maybe it'll all fall apart. But it is magic and powerful. And I promise you that if you utilize these techniques, you will see a change in your reality. Understand, we began by understanding the malleable nature of reality and the pivotal role that your perceptions, beliefs, and thoughts play in shaping it. The power of belief, the art of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and the strategic navigation to the space of variations offered by reality transurfing were explored in depth. We delved into the significance of mastering your inner dialogue, the invaluable guidance provided by your emotions, and the critical alignment between heart and mind. I have given you strategies to overcome resistance and navigate challenges that will happen along the way. The key to creating your reality lies in the continuous practice and refinement of these techniques. Your journey of creating your reality is unique and ever evolving. It is a process that calls for experimentation, adaptation, and most importantly, a belief in your power to manifest your desires. So be clear about what you wish to manifest. Strengthen your belief in your ability to create your reality. Align your emotions with your desires. Integrate these practices into your daily routine, and just be open to the universe's guidance and the myriad ways your desires can manifest. This journey is not just about achieving a specific outcome, but about discovering your innate power and the joy of creating your reality. It's a journey that transforms not only your external world, but also your inner self, leading to growth, fulfillment, and a deeper connection with the universe. Let this episode serve as a beacon to guide you towards the realization of your dreams and the creation of a life that reflects your deepest desires and highest aspirations. Your reality is yours to shape, and the journey is as magnificent as the destination. Embrace it with open arms, a willing heart, and the unshakable belief that anything you can imagine is within your reach. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at
Excellent episode, Jennifer. I appreciated this. This was a great night on manifesting.
Yeah, it's so, and for anybody who's done manifesting work, God, you can never have more reminders. You never have enough reminders about it.
You have to have reminders, because otherwise you get out of practice, and then you start doubting it. You're like, this isn't gonna work, and maybe you start like shit talking yourself.
Oh
and like we kept saying, it's like you're manifesting now. Like you are manifesting something. May not be the thing you want to be manifesting, and maybe if it's not the thing you want to be manifesting, maybe you should do things differently. And the way to do things differently is to understand how it all works.
Watch your thoughts. If you're constantly self-deprecating, if you're constantly saying, I can't do this because, I can't do that because, then you're either you don't want to do the thing you're doing, and you do need to change where you are and what you're doing, or you got some hangups and y'all need to like give it some room in the brain and let the positivity sneak in a little bit any way it can. There's nothing worse than a really negative person when you just can't talk to them. I'm so unhappy, I can't do anything. Well, why don't you try and manifest this, that, and the other thing? Oh, I can't because of why don't you try that? Well, I can't because of why am I wasting oxygen with you right now?
It's like it is the most maddening experience, because it's like when you can see this hit me when I was when I used to do coaching professionally. It's like I can see the potential in you, and I know how you're standing in your own way. It's like, I can't do it. This is hard. I don't want to. It's like shut up and just fucking do it.
Oh yeah. When I've done readings and stuff for people, occasionally I'm like, well, you have to do this, that, and the other thing if you want this, and they go, oh, well, I can't do that. Well, then you don't really want it, do you?
Exactly.
They look at you like, of course I want it. Well, then get out of your own way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, can you hear them?
Yeah,
you guys.
They're having feelings. They're fighting it out.
This is playtime.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I'm sorry.
That's all right. They're working it out. They're fine.
This is all day. This is what they do.
So the moral of the story is shut the fuck up, stop complaining, stop making excuses, and just go do it.
Yeah.
We don't want to hear it. Just go do it.
What is that horrible phrase that I just hate, but it's like, go be the change you want to see.
Yeah. Well, I don't like it. It's a little cheesy and cringe, honestly, but it's not wrong. It's like, but I like mine more. I'm like, shut the fuck up, stop whining, and go do it.
More direct.
Yeah.
More direct. I like it.
All right. Well, what movies do we have coming up this weekend? I know we kind of commandeered MacB's movie night last night, and I felt bad about that, but it was.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna do a poll, because I was thinking of doing, because we are still in the middle of Jolly June, so I was gonna do Mrs. Doubtfire, and then somebody suggested Tu Wong Fu. Was that Tu Wong Fu with Love, Julie Newmar, or whatever that is? And I absolutely love that movie. I know it's not one of your favorites, but I think it's wonderful. I love that movie. The ending's a little blah, but I do love that movie. And so I think I'll do a poll between those two. I'm going to post it right after we're done with our stream here. And so please go vote in Karlyn's Discord under the movie night message board. I will be posting that poll, which will close on Friday, and we will watch it on Sunday, whatever it is. And then the following Sunday is Mama Fire's birthday choice.
And she's doing the birdcage.
Yeah, she's doing the bird. I know everybody's like, birdcage. I'm like, it's coming. It's coming in 2 weeks.
Yeah, relax. And MacB's doing Escape from LA. That is a great movie. I enjoy that movie quite a bit, actually.
Nick Plissken.
Awesome. All right. Well, another successful episode of DISENRAGE. Welcome to all the new people who discovered our little spirituality show on Tuesday nights. We appreciate you guys. Come back Tuesday at 9 p.m. We will be talking about something different. We're going to do Joe Dispenza week next week. I need to do Joe Dispenza week. I was going to do Terrence McKenna week, and we're still going to do Terrence McKenna at some point. You're going to love Terrence McKenna because Terrence McKenna doesn't believe in time, and it's going to be great. You're really going to be very happy about it.
Okay, so I'm going to just remind you of something you said to me way back when we first started this little voyage of ours.
Yeah.
when I said, you know what? Why don't I find a video on how time can be real and you find a video saying it's not? And you're like, no, I don't want to have a debate with you about time, Jennifer. I don't want to have this argument. So now I see what's happening because we're just going to get Karlyn's perspective.
I'm just saying, we are at some point going to watch Terrence McKenna, who is someone that I started watching when I first started doing like psychedelics and stuff like that. And so we're going to receive wisdom from someone who has a lot of wisdom to share, and he's very interesting. And I haven't listened to his stuff like in years, but I do distinctly remember time being a thing. I'm not saying it's going to be all about that. I'm just saying that we're going to listen to someone very wise with very spiritual experiences, and we're going to learn from that person.
I have zero problem with that. I'm perfectly comfortable in my own belief system, even if we don't totally 100%. Well, I do think we do agree. You just keep jumping on the.
To my credit, I have given you warning about this now. We're not going to do him next week. We're going to save that, but we'll do Joe Dispenza next week, and Joe Dispenza is pretty great. He's kind of an asshole. And he's an Italian, and he's an Aries, and he's kind of a douche. But it's like I actually just learned a significant amount from Joe Dispenza, and his ideas and his techniques do actually work. And I've taken a lot of his workshops, and I've done all the things.
Was he a bald guy, or I think I've seen him do lectures. I think I was looking at him for what was I looking at him for? Chakra stuff.
Yeah, maybe he does have chakra meditations. He calls them energy centers. Yeah.
He doesn't, because it's too like new age or something. So he's trying to like redefine it so you don't think about crystal stores and things like that.
Exactly. He's trying to make it like more scientific. It's like, okay, well, all right. But he's totally new. It is a thing. He's so freaking woo. He's been in woo. So it's like he's like pretending he's not woo. It's like, all right, well, you do you. Whatever your techniques work. I don't really care.
He's trying to attract a broader audience.
Yep. All right. Well, that's all we have for this week. We will see you guys next week. And I'm going to go eat some pizza because we got some Domino's delivered. So I've got some pizza waiting for me downstairs. So I'm pretty happy about it.
I'm going to go put my groceries away.
Sounds good.
I'm still sitting in my kitchen.
All right, guys. Good night. See you later. Bye.